night and the Gemini crew. Night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
Good morning, good evening, and good night. Good afternoon, wherever you may be watching this transmission. You are tuned in to Mike in the Night. And sit back, relax. Maybe cork open a bottle of some fizzy water. Maybe light up a nice Cohiba cigar. Just maybe a little bit of cognac. Sit by the fire if it's cold up where you're at. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere in Australia, crack open a window. Sit back and enjoy, because you're tuning in to Mike in the Night. All right, guys, lots going on. I mean, every scope of anything, there's just so much going on. Whether it's finance, whether it's in the job sector, whether it's in the, everything. From new car sales to education to everything is almost like it's gumshoed and put together fraudulently. Not with TLC, like we grew up new in. We grew up new in a different standard. We grew up understanding and appreciating a superior standard of things. But we're starting to realize just more and more unqualified sectors of everything. So we got the Raven in the house. We got Rob Rhymes, woo, in the house. Owen says, checked out a place today. It was $480,000 for a 2-bedroom condo. $480,000 where? Just Cringe Diversity Channel says, hey, I'm Mike. Guys, don't forget to check out the Just Cringe Diversity Channel. Arguably one of the best. I love watching that channel. It's just humorous, it's educational, and it's honest. Sometimes you have to kind of throw it off as a joke in a way so you don't look or get labeled as a bad guy, even though you're there to tell the truth. We got TG Nim Edmonton here. We got Real Kevin Thompson live. We got PK 3500L. Just a heads up, we're having a roundtable live stream with Doug Forrest. The Myth is Canada tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Noble Savages. If you have any questions for Doug Forrest, I could send a link. We got David Xavier, woo, in the house. Job market sucks here in the Lower Mainland, says Nathan. We got Real Kevin Thompson. We got Owen. saying the condo, the 2-bedroom condo we went to see was in Brampton. Yeah, that's not going to fly for 410. We got Tignim says, cottage children bring up 15G to school. They attend for Medicare help. Just give me the money so I could get my child's private tutoring. Anonymous username says, cancer bald head. And diversity channel terminated says, I love ya, Mike. So true. Oh, buddy, you know I love you guys, right? So we got anonymous username is asking if I have cancer because I have a bald head. I just recently lost my dad a few months ago to cancer, and anonymous username, obviously, I don't has some sort of something he wants to say to me. So if anonymous username wants to say something to me, I think he should say it there in the comments. Because most of these people don't say it to your face, right? They like to be tough on the comments. Anyways, guys. Let's, I-10 truckers. Yeah, I'm going to do a special shout out. I got the special shout out for I-10 truckers. Anonymous username says, "Can I phone in?" No, get lost. Go to another show. You wanna call me a cancer bald head? Get lost. Here, I'll even ban you from the channel. Goodbye. People create accounts. Let me just check something here, guys. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to check something out here. Anyways, okay, let's get back to the show here. Okay, we got low-life people like that. No, a lot of people that do this kind of stuff, they have... I don't know if they're just low-lifes. I could tell you straight up, right off the top, they have nothing going on in their lives. They have no friends, nobody likes them, and they wonder why everybody hates them. Give me some good news, says Just Cringe Channel. We are part of the Bald Army. Oh, you got that right, Raven. Raven, thanks for hooking me up there. I appreciate that and sending me those photos. I had a mission for the Raven in Jerusalem. He took care of that for me and sent me photos, and I really appreciate that, Raven. It means a lot. It really means a lot to me. Now, guys, I'm going to ask you before we go forward, I want everyone to go below to the share. I need you to share this video right now live. Go ahead and share that live, that we're live here before I get into the show. We got Nathan says, "Love you, Mike." Dude, I love you, man. I love all you guys. Mike, stay on topic. Forget the trolls. The trolls have no, it's the fact what keeps me worried about, not worried, but why would somebody, we already have our channel troll, and that's Kevin Thompson. Why would someone go out of their way of their time in life? There's such a short time on this earth. I pray to God every day to give me 24 years. Just 24 more years. Let me get to 65, and then I'm okay. I made my peace with God and everything, So it's nice to dream, says Kevin Thompson. Okay, guys, let's open up the show here. What do we got going down? Let's go over some plugs here at the beginning, guys. Don't forget, guys, to check out the channel. Let's go over some quick channel news. If you want to catch up on Mike in the Night, here are all the Mike in the Nights from the last, 70 episodes. Trends in the housing market was a hit last week. We got over 4,000 views in less than 2 days on that. So it's because you guys are sharing it. We got Can't Read Market Talk. That's a hit and miss talk. But Morning Coffee with Mike, Unstable Unicorns, check that out. Massive Rant a week ago. Okay, now this one, this is the one that scared me. Australian realtors want more Chinese. And what am I talking about? Well, it looks like the Chinese are going to go back to looking to go back to Australia to buy out whatever's left in the market, basically. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous because countries lose their... Like, I brought this up many times on the show, right? We discussed this many times. I'll make it as quick as possible. Why do you guys think the country of Portugal is Portugal? Why do you think the country of Greenland is Greenland? Why do you think the country of Brazil is Brazil? The country of Australia is Australia? There's a reason why these countries, or Mexico is Mexico, right? It's like saying, oh, you're going to cross this border into Mexico. Why? Because that land pertains to the Mexican people. It's not Mexico because they like the name Mexico. It's because the people that live there are Mexican. You see, Mexico will always be Mexico because it's it's next to impossible to immigrate there. They don't sell to foreigners, any foreigners, like me, anybody from anywhere. I tried to buy in Mexico twice. Mexico will be Mexico in 1,000 years from now, unless they change their laws. But Australia is Australia because the people there are Australian. But if the people there aren't Australian anymore, then what does the country become, right? Countries are always tied to their ethnic backgrounds. That's just how it works. Russia is Russian because the people that live in Russia are Russian. That's why it's Russia. It's not because the map says so. All right, let's get on. Toronto condo ripoff. You got to watch this one. This is not a joke. Australian low interest rates are good. That's what they're saying. Canadians piling on more debt. Canadians are catching up to Australia because Australia is at $2, 208%. So for every dollar that an Australian makes, they owe back $2.08 for every dollar they make. Canada is just around the $2 mark. And that's that, guys, for channel news. Guys, don't forget to tip me on PayPal. Hit me up on Patreon. I'm trying to get 20 Patreon supporters by Christmas. I only got 18. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And I received an article today from the I-10 truckers going across I-10. When you guys get a chance, look at the map of the United States and look at the bottom of the map there, in I-10, right across the bottom of the United States. I-10 truckers from the United States sent me this article and asked me to just briefly get you guys to look at it. So this is for my boys down in I-10 who are downloading this transmission and re-listening to it and listening to it live. Is for you guys. And so we got cancer bald head back in the comment section. Yeah, so we're getting a troll in the comments tonight. Yeah, it's definitely someone that has absolutely no money. So they got to do something for their time, right? Self-driving trucks are now delivering refrigerators. So this was sent to me by the I-10 Truckers Association. Today, a human driver rides in a cab, but the ultimate goal for this autopilot program is to dump the flesh bag and let the trucks rumble solo down the highway. So there it is. Self-driving trucks. If you live in Southern California and you've ordered one of those fancy new smart refrigerators in the past few weeks, it may have hitched a ride to you on a robo-truck. Oh my God. Oh my God. So robo-trucks, is that what they're called? Or they're called self-driving trucks? Very interesting. So basically, they drive up to 605 miles along the I-10 freeway from warehouse in El Paso, Texas to a distribution center in Palm Springs, California. A human driver in the cab to monitor the computer chauffeur for now, but the ultimate goal is this autopilot program is to dump dump the flesh bag and let the trucks rumble slow down the highway. Solo down the highway. Yeah, freedom. Freedom, free all. Trucking is not a career future, that's right. And Metal Gear is saying, I know 3 companies making self-driving trucks as Metal Gear Mark III. Stevie Stevens says, people hate when they see you doing good things. Yeah, of course. There's a lot of people out there that just want to try and ruin, and they harness the energy of that negativity. And I love it. I love it. Anyways, that's up for channel news. Guys, don't forget to check me on The Dirty. Apparently now I'm getting sued. I came to Merit to steal someone's ideas. Come and check out The Dirty. Check out Mike Martin's. I have more comments on there than all the Kardashians put together. I have 122 comments on there, I say. That's big time. That's big time celebrityness. Yep. DeadEnd Jobs. We're going to get there. Just plug in the channel, guys. Boom. Haters are going to hate. All right, guys. You are watching Mike in the Night. Make sure you share the stream right now. Go to share it right now at the bottom. Woo! Zombie Apocalypse Gary. 2-time world champ in the house. Steve Stevens. 3D printing will eventually take over all the construction industry. It will. It will. It will. They're starting with little trinkets around the house, little things to hang. They are even making their own framing for doors and stuff. 3D printing will eventually start producing most of the construct. They'll get these huge printers in these huge warehouses, and they're just going to produce everything already to spec. So most of the time, you don't have to cut anything anymore. Have you tried to get in contact with Evan? The Machronicle? He knows his stuff. Oh, Machronicle is the guy from he used to have another channel. He changed the name of the channel. I remember his crypto and markets. That guy, crypto markets. I'll get him back on the show hopefully next week. Hopefully I'll see if I can get him on trends in the housing market. I would like to get him back on the show. He's a really good guy. Okay, Mike in the Night. So, DeadEnd Jobs, what is going on out there, folks? Before we do that, let's get into a little bit of, we got to cover some of this news, guys. Nunes demands Schiff testify after lying. Also wants whistleblower and Hunter Biden to appear. Escobar, America's blue dots, barely visible from the new Silk Roads. Is this is an advertising? JP Coin. The gamification of Bitcoin is now apparent that Bitcoin was never a monetary phenomenon. No, Bitcoin is a new sort of financial betting game. It is a digital, globally, highly secured, and fairer version of the old-fashioned chain letter. 53 million Americans drowning in cycle of low-wage work. So it actually fits tonight's persona. The persona that we are covering tonight. David Stockman on how deep state really works and the net worth of every 2020 presidential candidate. We're going to talk about that because maybe being president might be the best job out there. California approves the $3.2 billion bond for high-speed train to nowhere. If you're living in Los Angeles to Victorville, by the time you get there, you're pretty much halfway to Vegas. California wildfires make homeless crisis even worse. DC braces for Erdogan visit next week. Here's what happened last time. Scientists in China are using live pigs as crash test dummies. That's so good. Anyways, I'm being sarcastic. I would rather use a proper task. Whatever. Oh, man. Real Kevin Thompson, woo! Everyone's asking how I'm doing. I'm doing real good, SA. Real good. Steve Stevens, DeadEnd Jobs. Why are people ghosting employers? Yeah, that's actually a story I covered on the channel, ghosting employers. People going through the ringer, and then basically what happens is they need to discuss wages before they get interviewed. who's going to sit there for 3 interviews and then after get told that you barely have enough to eat? What's the point of wasting their time, my time, everybody's time? It's disgusting. All right, let's move on to this one. 53 million Americans are drowning in a cycle of low-wage work. So here it is. Almost half of low-wage workers are employed in just 10 jobs. So there's basically everything's moving into specific categories after shipping our jobs overseas. We're starting to see this. We're starting to see the patterns, you know what I'm saying, of what is left, I guess, to take, right? All right, let's keep going here. All right, top 10 low-wage occupations. Number of low-wage workers. Retail salesperson, 4.5 million. Information and records clerks, 2.9 million. Cooks and preparation workers, 2.6 million. I mean, if you go to a high-end restaurant, wouldn't you want the person that's cooking it to actually know what he's doing? Or understand or have really a good salary so he's happy at what he's doing? Because a lot of these cooks and stuff, you see a lot of people basically smoking in the alleyways by the dumpster when they're on break. And it's like, that guy's gonna cook my food? It's like, oh man. Anyways, I would rather pay cooks more money and have proper quality food. And then Healthy Head of Hair is saying, when employers don't put effort into me, why should I put effort into them? They should be glad at least I do is ghost them. And then, Kevin, did we change you in the comments there? All right, here it is, guys. Building cleaners and janitors, material movers, 2.5 million people, food and beverage service, 2.4 million people, construction trade workers, 2.3 million people, material dispatchers and distribution. There's lots of logistics in this, 1.9 million, motor vehicle operators, 1.8 million, and personal care and service providers, 1.8 million. So these are the lowest paid right here. If you're living in the United States, these are the worst paid areas. Wow. Okay, I can understand Florida because you could pick up a house for 200, 300 grand in Florida, like a decent home. I get that. But in California, so what, you telling me there's 7, 8, 9 people living in a 1-bedroom apartment? Yeah, Zombie Apocalypse Gary saying, was talking to a friend in his 70s, and he said he had more disposable income when he made less than $3 in the 60s compared to making $35 an hour when he retired a couple of years ago. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Steve Stevens says Edmonton still has detached homes for under 300 large. All right, let's keep going here. So that's that right there. Top 10, like worst wage jobs there. And net worth of every 2020 presidential candidate. Let's see what they have. Oh, this is 24 pages long. Merry Christmas. Good luck with that. All right. All right, guys, let's look at the best jobs. Before we talk about dead-end jobs, let's look at the light at the end of the tunnel. What's good out there for employment? So here goes, guys. This is another 29-page one. So healthcare jobs require the higher education, but workers willing and able to make that investment see it pay dividends in from the high salaries, ample to opportunities. Plus, experts predict there will be a great demand for nurses, physicians, and other medical practitioners in the years to come. They've already propped up the whole pharmaceutical being a, what the heck you call it? A pharmacist. They created this whole pharmacy demand with the boomers getting old, and if you don't become a pharmacist, you will lose, and this and this and that. And they created all these fake pharmacy schools, and the course was 6 months long, and you pay $12,000 to get your certificate, and then you graduate and you don't get a job. And when people realize, well, what about all these positions and this high demand and this opportunity of a lifestyle? Well, it just wasn't there. It was a lie. It was fabricated. Elizabeth, why speak to other when I'm here in Cali? Dang, 008, 0088. If you want to call into the show and let us know what's going on in California with the fires, please call in. Please call in. We should get Evan on the show and find out what he's got going on in Hong Kong, because we usually get an update with him in Hong Kong because the riots they're just not ending. They're setting fires to everything, and Healthy Head of Hair is the bald guy again. And Healthy Head of Hair has got Healthy Head of Hair is just trolling us tonight, guys. Poor guy. Poor guy. He probably has no money. So, GTO Bob says, good hair. A lot of Vietnamese working in pharmacy. All right, guys. So here it is. Top jobs. Let's look at the light at the end of the tunnel just once in a while and look at the positiveness. What are the top jobs? What are you majoring in? What are you doing? Well, here are the top jobs. Those factors make up healthcare. Well, let's go through it one at a time. Financial manager. I mean, wow. Of course, anytime you're managing money, you're always making money, right? Industry, it's business. Median salary, $125 large per year. Unemployment rate, 2.2%. Maximizing profits, reducing costs, and producing financial reports are the key duties of a financial manager. They play increasingly important roles in companies as the economy grows and interest in managing monetary risk rises. Their job titles may include controller, treasurer, finance officer, risk manager, or cash manager. Becoming a financial manager requires at least a bachelor's degree, and many employers seek candidates with master's degrees too. Employment is expected to increase 18.7% by 2026, adding 108,000 jobs. So do you have it in you to be a financial manager? Let's move on here. An accountant. Median salary, $69,350. Unemployment rate, 2.3%. I love accountants. And let me tell you how accountants are amazing. Every accountant except the one I have now has been an absolute disaster. Okay? It's really good. It's really good. Let me explain to you. Brokers are, not brokers. I'm just seeing brokers in the comments. Accountants are amazing. They get a whole bunch of work in, right? They get the checks. They try to get the employer to make the checks out to them so they could pay the GST and all that stuff. And then they don't do any work, okay? They don't do any work at all. They take the money and they go to another town. That's happened to me with 5 accountants in Vancouver where they know this. I give them all my paperwork. Then I lose all my paperwork. And then they you can't get a hold of them, and they took all my money. This happens. Do you know why? Because when you call Revenue Canada and say, my accountant lost my paperwork, they're like, it's your fault for hiring him, and we're not going after him. It's your fault. So Revenue Canada does not regulate accountants for people purposely so you could screw up and they could go after you and fine you. That's how it works in Canada. Being an accountant, you need no ticket, no letter of employment or something. You don't need no degree, no nothing. You need nothing in Canada to say you're an accountant and to take in people's paperwork. Take their money. Wait a few months till they start getting calls from thing. You get them to direct the calls from the tax office to you. And what they do is when they call in, they keep avoiding them. Yeah, we'll send it in next week again. I talked to him and blah, blah, blah. So, and it's nice. It's really nice. And they take all your money and then you try to track them down. The government doesn't care about them. The government blames you for hiring them. But you need a job ticket to serve water to somebody. You need a job ticket in British Columbia to do anything. But when it's accounting, you require 0. Why? Because the government wants them to screw you over. And then come after you and fine you. Oh, we got real German instincts in the house. Hold on, I'll call him back later. Dude, I'll call you, he's got a, hello, you there? He's got someone on the line here. Yo, you there?
Oh, hey, Mike, this is my friend Jamil. He's from, where in Germany are you from?
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, and he's, his family settled in Canada for a while, and then they ended up leaving when Justin Trudeau took power, and they saw what was going on in Cologne, Germany, and all the other stuff from the East Berlin. And he's a student in the U.S., so he's a dual citizen, he's American, German, dual citizen, so he can give those perspectives, and he's a student in Washington, and he's a Canadian permanent resident, so he could give a unique personal intake on what's going on with the housing or culture, or immigration, or refugees.
So are you in District of Columbia, Washington, or are you in Washington, King County?
Oh, no, Washington State.
Okay, so you're 3 hours away from me, drive.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, you're not far from me. Okay, so what happened? So you fled Germany because?
I know we didn't really flee Germany, but like we were like it was more like a 2008, economic recession hit us pretty hard. My mom's small company went belly up, and so we went to the only country that was not part of the whole, global banking community, or not as involved in it, and that was Canada. You guys were not hit so hard, so we moved to Canada.
Right.
And that was the main reason at that point. We didn't really have that many problems with Arabic refugees coming in, but I went back recently, and that is actually a problem now.
Okay. And now what are you majoring in now in school? What do you do now?
Bioengineering.
Okay. So what can you tell us about bioengineering? Because tonight we're talking about dead-end jobs. Is bioengineering a dead-end job when you do complete your course?
No, bioengineering. I wouldn't say so. I'm a bit biased, I guess, because I am, trying to be a bioengineer. So no, I wouldn't say so. No, biotechnology, same as the computer industry, or things that are going to continue to develop, in the future. I mean, social media is continuing to grow, whereas stuff like, I don't know, metal production and other things like that, they're going down, right? You see a lot of other things. They might be outsourced, like lower-end jobs will be outsourced. But, no, you'll always need someone to code. You'll always need someone to, modify food crops. So, yeah, bioengineering is pretty broad. You can go into a lot of things. You can go into food beverage industry, with the food additives. You can go to cosmetics. You can go to drug development, genetics and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. You can even go into like agriculture. Apart from plant breeding, you can help with livestock, fertility, that kind of thing.
Holy crap! Okay, so it's very technical jobs. So they're okay. Now, how far are we? How far are we from the government? Right now, I believe in my heart of hearts, okay? Because we're not really a conspiracy. We don't talk. We try not to talk conspiracy. We try to talk like more like kind of, kind of almost like on the ball with things on, not really theorizing, but I kind of want to pick your brain about this because this is very important. How far is the government away from quantum computing? Because quantum computing, in my opinion, is the key to the whole 5G.
He deals with organics, like bioengineering. Like he can engineer a crop to give you a bigger yield, your cow to produce more milk, your marijuana crop or THC, or engineer your new baby to have.
I want to ask him. But I want to ask him what he thinks about quantum computing. If he knows, if what does he think of it? Is it a myth? Is the government like? I understand what he does. I just want to know because I want to know where quantum computing is heading because I believe quantum computing right now is the next space race that we're in right now.
Okay. Well, okay. I can tell you exactly what I know about quantum computing. It's not a lot. So I know basically it's like you have two different. Instead of just a binary system of 0 and 1, you have, it's like flipping a coin. You either have the head state, tail state, and then you can also have it in between. So it's like
qubits.
The binary system more of like a tertiary system.
You have basically both. You're in the 1 and 0 state at the same time.
1, 0, and in between. Yeah, and
quantum tunneling.
That's good.
That's about as much as I know from quantum computing. Like, I know that it is. People have been working on it. It's apparently it should be. It is probably. A lot of people think it's going to be possible in the next couple of years.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking that, because all these big trade, like everything's going to be, I guess. Because you're working with technical algorithms that are super complex. Now, with a good up to date, it's all going to be government owned. It's not going to go in anyone's home. I understand that. But what I'm saying is I think, in my opinion of opinions, the biggest thing right now, and I think it's the next space race. Back in the 60s, we had the space race, right? I think all governments are hush hush. I think the whole quantum computing thing is taking off. And I think this is going to be the next level. What do you know about 5G? Have they rolled out? When you were in Germany, were they rolling out cameras everywhere?
You mean like security cameras?
Like all over the streets, like in London?
CCTV cameras like Britain.
No, that was actually not that big of a thing. I would actually say, if you've ever been in Seattle, they have CCTV cameras pretty much everywhere, like in every alley and every little.
Really?
You're there, but no.
I wasn't even aware.
What was that?
I wasn't even aware that they had a surveillance program going on over Seattle. Like, wow, I'm just really surprised.
I mean, I don't know how many of those are private. How many of those just belong to like a bunch
not the local municipality.
Yeah, I don't know how much is that, but I just know I just noticed that there are a lot of cameras. But no, like in Germany, you don't have it's not like China in that sense, but we do have internet censorship to a degree.
Okay, so how is that there? Is it getting, I heard if you say something about someone's food last night and it made you sick, they get offended, you go to jail?
So I guess what you're talking about is like, yeah, we do have offensive speech laws.
But what does that even mean, offensive speech laws?
Can you elaborate and then give some case examples, my friend?
Yeah, okay. So it can be it's actually very broad. The law is pretty broad. But it could be from anything from like insulting someone to, like, for instance, I'm calling you an asshole. That would be an insult. You could sue someone for that, and then that would go to court.
Really?
So
yeah.
It's not even defamation. It's just a insult between two guys on the individual, not necessarily their reputation, and they could still end up in a legal lawsuit. That's crazy.
Well, but
that could actually be like a minor lawsuit. Yeah.
But I could let you guys. I could let you guys know right now that that's not illegal in Canada. There's a guy in my town. Every time he sees me, he flips me the bird, tells me off, tells off my wife when he sees her, creates fake accounts and tells me off, and bashes me everywhere he goes. And because I live in a small town, so I bump into this guy every time he sees me. He gives me the finger, tells me to F off. And I asked him not to do it to my wife and kids, but he keeps doing it. And every time I go to the police, they say they have real police work to do, and that he's just forming an opinion.
Well, if under Justin Trudeau and things become even more draconian, maybe you can deal with Darrell Brooks that way. But as a side note, my friend used to tell me how hard it is being a conservative on going to university, and how he has to basically like hush hush and live a life in secret almost on campus. Can you explain what that's like, Jamil?
Yeah, tell us that.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, that's mostly like especially when you live on campus. If you're more vocal, it can be a problem. I mean, like, so it can, depending on who knows about your opinions. It could mean, for instance, someone's not going to hire you, or you don't get an internship, because if that person doesn't share a conservative viewpoint and is pretty far to the left, then they're not going to tell you that. But if people know that, for instance, I had a friend who was also part of the college Republicans, and he has several pictures of his, in his profile, also like in his LinkedIn, Facebook profile, also in his LinkedIn profile, where he does state that he's part of college Republicans. He's active in the municipality that we're in. He's active in the actual chapter there, the Republicans, and he was actually fired from his job because
he's a Republican?
Because he's a Republican. So they were saying that I think from what he told me, they were just saying that it was like making a hostile working environment, and people were uncomfortable with them, and they felt threatened or something like that.
Can we also talk about how they set you up for mandatory almost SJW classes?
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask him one question real quick. In your university, right? When you walk the halls, you're in Washington State. Do they have any pictures of George Washington or any of the founding fathers in of the founding fathers? Is there anything like that in your university?
No.
So they got rid of that because hey, you're in Washington State. Who is it named after? George Washington, or either George Washington Carver, but I think it's Washington from the first founding fathers.
Yeah,
but
George.
Yeah,
right,
but
Washington State was named after George Washington, right?
And they also have a Vancouver down in Seattle too, Vancouver City. Sorry.
That used to be our old border until Andrew Jackson threatened to go to war with Canada, so we had to make the parallel completely across. But that used to be our old Vancouver.
What, really?
That used to be part of Canada. That used to be our old border until Andrew Jackson threatened war with Canada.
You learn something new every day, folks.
The guy on the American $20 bill was the one who basically set up that parallel with Canada and the United States.
I actually like Andrew Jackson, though, to be fair.
Yeah, he's the one who abolished the banking system. So let me ask your friend something. Okay, do you believe in global warming? If you're a conservative, I know what the answer is. So do you believe... Okay, I believe there is climate change. Climate does change. It rains, it snows, it gets colder sometimes. Sometimes you get a hurricane, But do you actually believe in climate change to an extent like they're trying to preach or throw it shoved down our throats?
No. I mean, partially. So, not really. I don't think that we're going to die in 12 years or in the foreseeable future. Definitely not in our lifetime.
No.
I think maybe what's not clear is, if there's any impact, from humans on the weather at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure that humans do contribute somewhat to climate change. The climate is changing a little bit. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't really care too much about it to really have an opinion on it. To be honest with you, no, I don't think there's catastrophe coming up.
Yeah, because you have more important things to think about, or more important equations, or more important things to study in your field than climate change. Or
I will say this though. Climate change aside, I don't. We are overfishing in the oceans. We are causing a lot of pollution. We are contaminating the ecosystem in a lot of senses, like the wildlife. That is a problem, climate change aside, and I
would agree.
Oh, yeah, we're
part
polluters.
of being a conservative, part of being a nationalist and a conservative and a traditionalist is I don't want to see all the deer gone for future generations. I want to be able to take my kids fishing. That I consider a problem.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I believe in nature conversation. I'm not an eco-activist, but I do believe in preserving nature.
No, I'm talking about taking your car down the street to 7-Eleven to buy a Slim Jim, and you're destroying the world because you started your car. And then the people protesting this are flying around in private jets.
I'm just a poor dumb smuck. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I do know there was a lot of scientists that were basically lost their careers. Kind of like how the guy that discovered the double helix in the DNA said some inflammatory subjects, and now they took his medals, even though they never really discredited them. They just took the stuff away, and then
wasn't that the guy who actually proved that there was differences in
IQ? Yes, and he was the founding father. He discovered DNA and mapped it.
Yeah.
And they took away all of his accomplishments because he said there's a difference in racial IQ, and they shut him down for that. They never actually tried to question him on it. They just said, "Oh, you can't say that. Shut you down."
That study.
We're taking your medals away and your accomplishments. And he was, Watson, exactly.
He was a Nobel Prize. Yeah, the Watson.
They took his
trick model. Yeah, he
took his awards away.
He won a Nobel Prize for the Watson Crick model, actually, for the double helix.
That's a big deal.
That is a huge deal. That's like the fundament. That's like the fun. Dude, that was the fundamentals for.
And because they don't agree with his politics, they took away all his accomplishments.
Yeah, I mean, without that, you could do the whole field of genetics it would not be there without him.
For you being a bioengineer, that's a big thing, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually is. Yeah, it's like one of the few things that I actually thought, was actually very interesting. But a lot of people, a lot of academic heavyweights like him, right now they just shut up, and then you have
we've muzzled our intellectuals. So when they say all the scientists are saying climate change, they're politely saying, "Oh, by the way, all these other scientists that we disagree with them, we took away their funding and we shut them down and we told them to basically shut up like the mafia."
Yeah, pretty much.
They never bring that up, though, that there's a lot of intellectuals that don't agree with them that are cowering in fear. And that's why I also brought up the fact that on the campuses, people are afraid to let others know that they're even just as much as a conservative.
So
not an alt-right, I'm not a neo-Nazi, I'm nothing extreme, I'm a conservative. People are afraid to even say that now on the campuses. The liberals have hijacked our education and our educational institutions.
I don't know. I'm lost for words with some of what's happening. I'm an old schooler. I'm 41-year-old man, and I'm an old schooler. And what's happening right now, I can't believe that we're allowing, or it's being allowed. Like, we can't even voice an opinion anymore. It's like, then what's the whole point of freedom of assembly? What's the point of freedom of speech? What's the point of freedom of the press? What's the point when our society is being so watered down to the point where we don't even know what our identity is more with the mass immigration. Yeah, we don't even know if we're tricking or treating. That's the problem. So
we don't even know if it's our country anymore.
Well, let me ask the bioengineer something. So we're talking about dead-end careers. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do after you graduate? What prospects
even to say
do you have?
something like that is considered controversial. Saying this is my home. Because it might offend someone else.
So, bioengineer guy, what do you got? What are your prospects after you?
That was a bit of a black pill there. But another thing.
No, I actually agree with you on that one. You should be able to definitely have a sense of national pride. Wait, can Mike still hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, buddy.
Are you still with us, Mike?
I'm right here.
I wonder if we lost him.
No, you didn't lose me. I'm right here.
Oh crap!
I know it says he's still here, but you muted his mic, I believe, which is
I didn't
odd.
mute my mic.
Yeah, you muted your mic there for a bit. We didn't hear you.
I'm not touching the keyboard or the mouse.
Oh, it was weird. It was muted for a second there, but beside the point. Society's gotten so bad where we have the left, and they're pandering to the victimized culture. It's like we've moved from industrialism and mercantilism to a whole new class of basically slavery, and all the slaves want is to pander to the middle class that enables them through sympathy, and then through that sympathy that is enabling, and then the oligarchs that are pushing this other narrative of what was it called, matriarchy.
Yeah, I know, I understand. Listen, it's getting too philosophical. It's becoming philosophical, and if people want to get philosophical, they can go down the hall to poetry class. Okay, feelings are dog poop. Okay, I have feelings. I love my wife. I love this car. Hey, I feel good when I'm watching this movie. That's great, but you don't have to bring it into other people's lives, and then just because you're feeling offended or you're feeling, it doesn't mean you're right.
Well, we've become a society of victim pandering is the major problem, and a society is just evolving and devolving as the economy gets worse. It just pulls into that black vortex of a black hole.
Mm-hmm. But all right, bioengineer, what are your prospects when you graduate?
Well, probably have to do grad school after, but I mean, they're pretty good actually. They're pretty good. Yeah, you can go pretty much. You can go in many countries with a bioengineering degree.
Good.
So yeah, they're pretty good. They're a lot better than like an English major or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He feels happy about his prospects.
Good for you. That's what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like my good friend of mine from Australia works in mining, core samples and all that stuff. I got him a job in Brazil.
Oh, nice. How did that happen?
Well, because me and him we're still good friends, but he came to my shop in Vancouver, and he'd come to me and said, "You know what, Mike? I'm not happy anymore. I don't know what it is. I moved from Australia to Canada, and if it's worse, I'm feeling like I'm wasting my life or I'm losing." And I told him, it's the whole Anglo-American English empire kind of mentality. Get out of it and go into the whole Portuguese mentality. He's like, Portuguese, what do you mean? Go to Brazil and work. I actually, as a joke, sent his resume to 3 different tech mining and technology sectors there in Sao Paulo, one in Rio de Janeiro, and one in Brasilia. Two of them got back to him, legitimately got back. He went down. They got a translator. They spoke to him. He got the job at the one, didn't even go to the second one, so he got the job in Sao Paulo, and now he's married there and has 3 kids.
With Brazilian?
Yes, and he speaks Portuguese.
Ooh, nice.
And he said, "You know what, Mike, you were right. I just gave up on the whole the whole English empire type of that mentality, and and went with more of a Latin on the Portuguese side of things, and I've never been happier in my life."
Well, I'm not really too fond on the idea of giving up my heritage and my identity.
It's not the heritage thing. It's the whole what you're so programmed to know and what to understand, and that kind of thing. Maybe a different lifestyle in a different country, in a different climate, with different women and different music might change.
Of course, but I believe traditionalism and identity does matter. And I have no issues with, say, uprooting and moving with my future fiance into Japan and embracing that lifestyle. They would be expected of me to embrace their culture and not expect them to embrace for mine.
Right.
But keeping that culture and identity is important. And having other groups attack my culture and identity does rub me the wrong way. It eventually does become... it becomes tiresome.
Yeah, like
it becomes irritable.
When I went to Mexico, I was pretty much Mexican. speaking Mexican, and I was everywhere, and the food, the girls, the booze, everything.
When in Rome, right?
Right, yeah.
It's just common courtesy.
All right. Okay, guys, any final words? I got to continue with the show here. Any final words? Bioengineer, you want to say something? We're going to keep you on our Skype, so if we need a bioengineer for the show, we'll give you a heads up to get you on for something that we read in an article or something that's happening that we need your feedback on. Is that okay?
I think...
yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I think
Totally fine. Hey, I will probably have to kick rocks here, too. But yeah, I just want to say I appreciate being on this segment. And yeah, anytime you need anything, just give me a ring.
Yeah, please. We'll get more in depth to your whole field and kind of understand like crops and what's happening with famines, what's happening with different areas of. I don't know, man. I'm not a scientist, or I don't know this stuff.
You can talk about CRISPR engineering with bioengineering humanity too. Designer babies. That's another thing, isn't it? CRISPR, correct?
Oh yeah, CRISPR-Cas9, yeah.
Yeah, genetically
like
augmenting humans.
Technology.
Yeah, you can genetically augment humans with other DNA from other animals and species.
Yeah, I mean they found like better molecules than Cas9 right now. I mean you have like Cas12 and stuff, but yeah, I can go into that.
We could technically engineer a human to be like basically glow in the dark if we wanted to at this point, correct? No, it's true though.
Woo!
We inject them with jellyfish DNA? We did it with a cat. Why can't we do it with a human?
No, I'm not saying we can't. Nothing's impossible. You know that, right?
But what I did want to say is, because Jamil had a unique experience, when you enrolled into campus, and you had to take out student loans that you have to pay back with your money, they forced you to also take extra academic classes. Now, could you at least, or could you present that on the show? Because I think a lot of people
right now,
would be
or do you
shocked
mean
and
like the
appalled.
next segment?
No, right now. I think a lot of people would
Oh
be shocked
yeah.
and
Okay,
appalled
yeah. So they have this is for every student that enrolls actually in WSU and Washington State University. So it's regardless of what your major is, a certain set of courses. They're called UCOR courses. Other universities follow the same kind of idea behind it.
And you have to pay for these.
For them is fostering understands of like, different cultures, diversity, that kind of thing. Really, what they mean with diversity, they don't really know. Or they're not really. They're kind of vague about it. They usually don't really mean like a diversity of thought or something like that. They mostly just mean, like
SJW brainwashing, basically.
Yes, mostly.
And you have to pay for these courses. They're not for free. You have to actually pay for them, mixed in with your tuition. Correct?
You have to pay for them with your own money. Yeah, and
so they're forcing you to take a liberal propaganda brain course while you're trying to take a major.
Liberal, more postmodern, really. It comes more from the postmodern kind of school of thought.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they do talk about power balances. They kind of rank this fucking intersectional hierarchy system where they kind of rank you by your grievances, and then they put you in a victim category.
You know what that sounds like to me?
And you have to pay for this. You have to actually pay them money.
I understand. He has got to pay for this. I understand.
I want to go to school to become a scientist. By the way, you have to take our SJW brain.
Oh yeah, but you know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like it's a bunch of garbage.
It is, and they force you to pay for it, and your children.
Wow. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to continue with the show. I got someone that's going to come on the show who is a high-level software engineer working in underground layer in Nevada and could give us detailed responses about the future of AI and quantum computing, and he's in his lab right now.
Nice.
That's nice.
So let's get him on the show. I'm going to get him on the show right now. You guys, we'll get you guys back on soon enough. So we'll talk soon, okay?
Sure. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, thanks, brother. You have a good night, okay?
Oh, you too. See ya.
Have a blessed night, gentlemen.
All right, God bless.
Bye.
So, Buddy's in Washington taking a bioengineer course They're forcing him to take some liberal whatever course, and he has to pay out of the pocket. A really good guest. We got to get him on the show. Again, many times. But he also, he's going to have to do like a hidden camera and go around the school because he's in Washington State in a university and there's not a single damn photo of George Washington, the founding father. Guys, this is stressing me out. This is really stressing me out. Anyway, so we got somebody in a covert location, in a covert area, who is going to basically give us an insight on what is happening in the whole... Let's ask him if quantum computing is a good job career or a good job idea. Oi. Hello?
Cancer bald head. Cancer bald head. Hail Hitler. Hail Hitler.
I just saw your picture, dude. I just saw the guy on video. I actually have it recorded. He actually showed his face. Wow. 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 I actually have this guy's face. I can tell you what he looks like. Wow. 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 This guy's definitely a troll. This guy is actually a massive troll. Wow. If I tell you what this guy looks like... Woo! Okay, so Sopika1 says, I can talk to you with those topics, Mike, on Skype. So we got this guy's not even 5 foot tall. This guy's not even 5 feet tall. Sorry, someone intercepted the call. Yeah, okay, buddy. Now he's telling me it's a hacker. Buddy, I thought I was bad at getting dates, because I'm like 5'6". This guy's not even 5 feet tall. Hand to God. Hand to God. Now I got his picture. And he wants to call me Cancer Bald Head. I know what you look like. In your little room with no pictures around you and no... Yeah. So yeah, I'm very, very disappointed that somebody could go out of their way to pull something like that. So let me go ahead and get into the let me block this guy. This guy's like 30 and he's a virgin. That's all I have to say. You're going to call on the show with garbage like that to try and get my stuff flagged? All right, we got Steve Thomas says he's available for... Oh, but this was a long time ago. Yeah, I just... sorry, guys. Just too many interruptions. But you gotta see this with this guy. This guy looks like a chipmunk. Sorry, I'm making fun of him because he wants to call me a cancer bald head. So, DeadEnd Career Jobs. DeadEnd Career Jobs. DeadEnd Career Jobs. No, it wasn't a picture. It was actually, he actually, his Skype camera came on accidentally, and I actually saw him when he was talking to me. I actually saw him talking. It was him. He was wearing this, like, flannel shirt. All right, let's keep going here. So now let's get into the news. We went into accountant. Let's move on. So these are jobs you kind of want to look for. Speech language pathologist. This never existed 30 years ago before the invention of the vaccine. We never needed this stuff. Podiatrist in healthcare. Arthritis, ache problems. Oh, podiatrist. Man, I should learn how to read. A podiatrist. I never had to go to one of these. I never even heard of one of these till now. I've heard of it somewhere on the radio. Clinical laboratory technician. But it pays 51 grand? I wouldn't even get out of bed for 51 grand. Physical therapist. 86 large. That's a good one. Helping people to walk and stuff. They're going to add 61,000 jobs. All right. Registered nurse, that's a good one because that could get you employment anywhere. Like a lot of people now are getting degrees. A lot of people are getting degrees now in specific fields in Canada so they could run over to the US when they graduate. What else do we got here? A cartographer. In engineering. As a modern map makers, cartographers use surveys and images to collect and study geographical data, then turn it into useful visual representations. They're employed by just get the Portuguese to do it. They invented cartography like 500 years ago. Mathematician, that pays 103 large a year. And many mathematicians analyze data and use statistical theories to help make decisions for business. And this is a good one, mathematician, yeah. Nurse midwife, industrial healthcare, median salary 100 large, unemployment rate at 1.2%. So a midwife nurse is a good one. Who the hell's messaging me on Facebook? Surgeon, median salary 208 large. Pay is high for this job, but so is stress. Surgeons work under extremely high pressure, spending days and nights hovering over the operating table while treating diseases and illness through surgery. Anesthesiologist, 208 large. 208 large per year. Important members of surgical teams. Anesthesiologists work as human painkillers. 208 large. But there's too much. You notice the jobs with the more responsibility, you get paid more? Occupational therapist, 83 large per year. What are you doing that? Injury or disability makes it difficult for you to get around, fulfill job duties, keep clean or interact with family and friends. You may benefit from the expertise of occupational therapists. These healthcare professionals help people with physical limitations. That's not bad. You're helping somebody, you're making 80 large a year. Who the hell keeps messaging me on Facebook? Oh, I'm getting messages from multiple people. Someone saying, I'd like to be on your show. I'm an elementary teacher in the Fraser Valley. Somebody else, Mike Smith, can you renew ICBC online? So, let's move on here. Occupational therapist. So we got a teacher. I'm scared to bring somebody on because they're going to start bringing somebody on that I'm not sure about or don't know anymore because they're just going to come in and try and ruin the night. You know what I'm saying? Lord Humongous makes trillions a year. He still hasn't sent me his address so I can mail him an ounce of silver. A physician, 192 large per year. This is a catch-all term for doctors of all varieties. Some physicians are interns who focus on specific organ systems, including liver, digestion. So they're specialists, basically. And let's move on. What? A posthodontist. I guess it's a specialist with teeth. Doctors in dentistry specializing in replacing missing teeth and gaps. Okay. Oral maxillofacial surgeon tie. So I guess this is for medical situations more complicated and intense than an orthodontist with dentists handle. They can extract wisdom teeth and others from gums. Okay. Number 9, obstetrician and, I'm not going to say that, probably flag my channel, 208 large. Pediatrician. Children's health, yeah. Nurse practitioner. You guys notice how a lot of these jobs in most countries would be considered public sector jobs, not private sector? Are you noticing how that's all... You know, in the United States, a lot of their healthcare is still private sector, so they can make the big bucks. But you notice how if you look at in Canada, you wouldn't make that much, and you get taxed to death. That's why we're losing all our medical staff because it's public sector. Nurse, anesthesiast, industry care, median salary $165,120. Patients undergoing surgery benefit from pain-killing prowess of a nurse anesthesiast during procedures. Wow, these people get paid a lot of money to administer drugs. Orthodontist, $208,000 per year. Dentist, physician assistant, $104,000 a year, and statistician is obviously in business, about $80,000 a year. When businesses and government agencies need help making sophisticated decisions and solving, oh, we don't need that. We got Justin Trudeau. He can do everything for us. The books are going to balance themselves. Software developer. Median salary, $101,790. That's a good one. And that's number 1, software developer. Let's see, we got more stuff here. It's probably advertising. So here it is, best jobs. So we got this here. We already went through them. These are the best jobs of 2019. So, I mean, guys, so here we go. Degrees that won't help you get a job. So let's go over and make fun of these people. Engineering. Recent college graduate unemployment up 7.5%. I know so many engineers that work at Subway, and not the Subway system, making sandwiches. Number 2, fine arts. Recent college expressway degree, elementary education. Wow, she's pretty. Am I allowed to say that she's pretty? Or, I mean, am I allowed to say that anymore? Or, like... DeadEnd degree number 3, information systems. What do you mean? Recent college graduates unemployment rate at 11.7%. This major was the anomaly among the computers and mathematics field, being the only one in double digits. Why? The report didn't say. But the report did offer hopeful words. Computer majors are likely to bounce back strongly as the recovery proceeds. Information systems. Okay, I would think that wouldn't be a problem, but the unemployment rate's pretty high. What the hell is an expressway degree? Oh, computer science. Recent college graduate unemployment rate at 7.8%. In this tech-crazed world, there's a lot for employers to write in the title of this bachelor's degree. Maybe that's why the Hard Times report found a pretty low unemployment rate for these grads. How long? How does 7.8% sound good for odds? Wow. Another dead-end degree, anthropology and archaeology. Yeah, because, you go out, you find something, you publicize it, and they're like, well, this is going to go against our mainstream archaeology. We can't let people know about this underwater city with corridors and labyrinths and yeah. Archaeology is because you're looking for fact, you're not looking for feelings. So, yeah. Anthropology, same thing. Archaeology. Expressway degree. For number 4, nursing. What? Recent college graduates, unemployment rate 4%. We have a winner, folks, at least according to the Hardy Times study, which found the group of the lowest unemployment rate among recent college graduates. So the lowest unemployment rate. Okay. So this okay, dead end degree information. So recent college grad. Okay, all right. I see how it is. So degrees that won't help you get a job. But I think a fine arts degree is so good. Like, you could go work for NASA and then you could, like, invent something because you know what artist did what painting. Yeah. Anyways, guys, share this transmission if you want to get your friends in the comments section. Oh, I wanted to cover this too. Where was it? 5 key signs your career has hit a dead end. So if your career has hit a dead end, these are 5 signs. 1, you no longer have fun in your job. 2, you work a lot, you never get the promotion you want. 3, you have seen your superiors' colleagues hand in their notice. 4, your tasks are always the same and you don't feel sufficiently challenged. 5, you don't get on with your boss or with a colleague. Yeah. Yep. All right, comments are flowing, guys. So, DeadEnd Jobs. Who could we have on the show that's not going to tell me off? Or make fun of me? Who could we get in the show? Who's out there? Any new callers? Call-ins? Anybody want to call in that's not going to basically be an idiot? Let me see who we got here. Rick wants to come on the show, but I don't know. I think it's, I don't know. Jordan Retro says, I'll call another week. I'm drunk already. Yeah, man. Watching Mike in the Night. Having a few drinks, sitting back, enjoying yourselves. 10 signs you're unknowingly pushing yourself into a dead-end career. Here we go. You felt obligated. Your parents made you do it and your grandparents made you do it. Number 2, you were unsure of what you really wanted to do. You choose an unhappy culture. We've worked with a few unhappy people in our careers. However, insurance adjuster says, yeah, I'm not happy, I'm miserable. Number 4, you were just there for the money. Number 5, it was your backup plan. Number 6, you weren't growing. Number 7, job security was your primary concern. Number 8, you didn't see the higher purpose. Number 9, they didn't appreciate you. Oh, I don't feel appreciated. Oh. You didn't appreciate you. Well, now we're getting philosophical now. All right, who's out there? Let's get the Raven on. I don't know if the Raven is still there. I don't know if he's still there. But so there's another person calling in, and I think it's a fake one too. So, Mike, my name is blank, I work as a hiring consultant for a Fortune 500 company. Are you still taking calls? I don't believe it, so I'm not gonna entertain it. I'm sorry if you are, but I just got bombarded by one of the worst trolls in human history. And no, it wasn't the girl. And it's not the girl from Snooki from Thing. Not that kind of a troll. Got trolled pretty hard here. And Rick says, I understand. Good luck to you. Thank you. Good luck to you too. All right, let's get the Raven on the show. Let's see what the Raven's up. Let's see if he picks up.
Mike.
Yo, what's up, Raven? How you doing?
Not much.
So I was getting bombarded. We're still getting bombarded by a lot of trolls tonight.
Oh,
I'm not sure. Is it troll night, like Halloween night? They have a night for trolls or something?
I was just listening.
Yeah, Rick. No, not you, Rick. Not you, Rick. Rick saying me. No, not you, Rick. I'm talking about the last guy that came on the show. Yeah. So I got somebody tracing his IP right now as we speak. I just got somebody right now tracing that guy's IP that said he was a computer analyst guy and he had all this thing going. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Raven, what's up, dude?
Not much.
Did I wake you up?
No, I was just lying here. I'm just gonna, I don't know, I work in the morning.
Oh, okay. Did you want me to let you go then?
No, I don't work too early, probably around 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. Can you okay, tell us about one of your worst career moves you've made.
Career move, eh? I would say commercial fishing on Lake Winnipeg, 12 hours a day out in the cold. That was not fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's
and?
Worst career move. I froze my ass off. Yeah.
All right. So that was one of your worst. Was the pay good though?
No. Very bad.
Really?
Back then, I think I made $65 a day plus room and board.
That's terrible.
It's horrible. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, but that was long. It was in your younger years. So now you work in the train system. You work on the trains. You're a train conductor. You're an engineer. Do you recommend for young people to get into this or no?
Well, I think it's all going automated anyway. So get into it for a while, maybe. I think it's all been gone. The writing's on the wall there for us.
Interesting.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is all those CEOs that quit this year. It's like a record. 1,234 CEOs have left their jobs.
In your industry?
No, just I saw it on Zero Hedge. 1,253 CEOs have packed her in. Maybe they see what the writing on the wall. Who knows what they see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was interesting.
I'm looking for it here right now on Zero Hedge. Right now, I got Zero Hedge opens. Technology spurs the ability device. Uber allies. Pentagon. America's richest 1% now owns as much wealth as the middle and lower classes combined.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, I got the article you sent me. It's right here.
Yeah, that one.
Tunisia issues central bank digital currency.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like, I mean, I think this is the best way they could do it by creating blockchain removing cash, and then that's it. And then they could start monitoring everything. See, Tunisia's smart. They're doing it before the people do it privately from home or from their outfits, right? So that this way, Tunisia has the monopoly on it, and they could regulate it and control it without having to fight off the other cryptocurrencies in their country, right?
I don't know if it's a true cryptocurrency.
Of course it's not. It's just going to be regulated to hell.
Yeah, I think it's still paper fiat backing it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But what about China with the 20,000 tons of gold, looking now at actually creating a gold-backed crypto?
That's what Max Kaiser says, eh?
Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really racing for it.
Well, like I said, it's the whole quantum computing thing. It's the whole, like, I think we see how cryptocurrency, with the blockchain works, and you need thousands of computers to generate information and create a blockchain and blah, blah, blah. But if you have quantum computing, I don't think you need that many quantum computers. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you don't think they have the technology to have that type of quantum computer to run a whole cryptocurrency for a country?
Mm-hmm. I think it will take a whole room full of quantum computers to do it, whereas opposed to the computing power we use now for the blockchain we use now for Bitcoin and all that other stuff, it's computers all over the world, right? Creating the blockchain, right?
Yeah.
So Matt is saying blockchain can be broken with quantum. That's correct. That's very true, because it could solve the worst or the most technical mathematical equations within seconds as opposed to months. Yeah. So you've been talking about this blockchain thing, and so we were discussing earlier in the year that it's going to be in the next couple of years. Now we're discussing it's going to be in the next couple of months. I
know. I talked to two different people in the last few days that were very interesting. I talked to a lady does she works for a company, and I talked to her today, and she's into what's the word I'm thinking? She's into credit defaults, credit transactions.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling me that in the last 10 years, because they're all over North America, her company, she says Dallas, or what was it, Florida and Texas are the ones that are having the biggest credit defaults in the company that she works for, the product that they move in, that there's credit defaults.
Oh, for sure. And the average house in Florida is still, the average benchmark home in Florida is still in and around $203,000, and people are defaulting.
And the other guy I talked to, I at work, he's from Saskatchewan, and I started talking to him, and the guy turns out to be a gold miner, like a big time gold miner. He worked for Newmont Gold. He was in Red Lake. He told me a story that I heard years ago in Mexico when I was out there. I met a miner out there, and he told me in Red Lake they have an area 600 meters deep called the Jewel Box. They actually have enough gold down there that they could flood the market, and they're not allowed to touch it. They just leave it because it would be too much gold for the market, which is just a crazy thing. This guy that I worked with, he's an older guy. He confirmed that. He said there's a Jewel Box in Red Lake, 600 meters down, where the whole wall is gold, and all you can see is gold. They just leave it.
They leave it.
Yeah, they leave it because he says they would flood the markets if they took all that gold from those areas.
Okay, so, stop the press. Perth Mint, I just got this from the comments from our man Thomas in the comment section, who's contributing, saying, Perth Mint launches world's first government's guaranteed gold-backed crypto token.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're seeing it now in Perth, Australia. The world's first government-sponsored gold crypto token has been launched by Australia's state-owned the Perth Mint as a part of a wider campaign to digest its gold inventory. Precious metals digestion company Infigold, a spin-out from Rosatech Ventures and part of Rosatech Group, has announced a launch of a Perth Mint Gold Token, PMGT, a digital token backed by Gold Pass certificates already being issued by the Perth Mint, currently the world's largest refiner of newly mined gold. This is incredible. So it looks like it's happening right now as we're speaking, Raven.
It'll go slowly and then all at once. And on November 4th, the Federal Reserve hired a cryptographer to work with the Fed. You must have a bachelor's degree, but they prefer a master's degree and 7 years of experience. I was reading. So they're looking at, the Fed's looking at crypto too now. They're all looking at it. Mm-hmm. Or you get left behind, eh?
Yeah. But the thing is, some of the best crypto guys in the world don't even have a high school education. So, I mean, for them to get the most out, every time they get the most educated people into certain things, most of the time it doesn't work, right? Usually when you get the guys that actually from the ground that came up with this and created it are usually the, you know what I'm saying, Raven? It's usually the ones that actually made the mistakes and took the losses and understand the algorithms better than probably anyone with the biggest degree on the planet.
Yeah, I just wonder if they'll make it all work. Is it all going to work?
I think it could be. I think quantum computing will make anything work, my friend. I think it will, because it will be impossible to crack, and it will be impossible to penetrate, because if it's if it's algorithmic, you know what I'm saying?
So they're looking at Egypt. Egypt's at about 10% interest. They're looking at cutting their rates. All around, they're looking at cutting rates as right neck and neck. Cryptos and cutting. They'll probably right at the same time. It's all going to fold together. I think it's all going to fold together. And if you watch crypto, then if you're curious when this is all going to fall apart, you're going to see the transition from fiat to crypto. Mm-hmm. That's when they're going to pull the pin, or who knows how that'll all play out. Mm-hmm. But I think those two are key indicators of what's going on.
Well, I got another one here from Metal Gear here. Sidewalk Labs Smart Cities will create a for-profit social credit system. Yeah, this is the social credit system surveillance that the biggest and the smartest city surveillance is much worse than anyone could have ever imagined. So the CIA is basically, was installing thousands of CCT cameras and microphones in smart cities. So the CIA is in Canada. Well, Central Intelligence Unit is basically international, but they are placing microphones and cameras in smart cities. And then Sidewalk Labs wants to public surveil it to a whole new level. And what is this? There's an article here. Sidewalk will require tax and financing authority to finance and provide services, including the ability to impose, capture, and reinvest property taxes. What? The book said the company would also create create and control its own public services, including character schools, special transit systems, and a private road infrastructure. Wow, they're going all out with these smart cities, eh?
I think they're going to do them out east. Like, that's in Canada, right? 3 or 4 smart cities.
Yeah. It's saying Sidewalk Labs was like a for-profit China that would use digital infrastructure to modify and direct social and political behavior.
To monitor.
What do they want to monitor what Playboy magazine I like to read? Why do they want to monitor like when I'm talking to myself? Why do they want to monitor if I'm whistling Dixie? Why do they want to monitor if I'm reading the newspaper through the glass and I'm not buying the newspaper? I just want to read the headline and laugh. Why do they want to monitor what girls I'm looking at as they walk by me? Why?
Maybe you're interesting to them. You're interesting to them. They need to know. It's not that. It's monitoring it's monitoring everything financial. It's monitoring keywords that you say. Then with that, they can start doing their pre-crime and they can have complete control. Algorithms will be the little watchdogs. The dogs will be the algorithms, and they'll get an alert. Well, this guy said hill dog. That must be code for something.
Well, hill dog, we know what hill dog means, right, on this channel. If you don't know what hill dog means, you got to watch some of my past videos, right? I know you and hill dog are incredibly good friends.
Yeah.
And I know you love her very much. I know you love hill dog.
No. I'm just glad she's getting too old.
That doesn't mean nothing. You ever watch Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prop her up.
Okay, Raven, I'm going to let you go to sleep. I know you got work tomorrow, buddy. I'm sorry for bothering you so late in the night.
It's okay.
Go get some sleep, bud. We'll talk on next week's show. If you're available, and we could talk about. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to smart cities and 5G again in the next week's show. We're gonna start hitting it at least. We're gonna have to at least, at the minimum, talk about it at least once every 2 months now.
5G.
We have to 5G / smart cities / crypto takeovers /
It's in a dozen cities in the U.S. now. And I could swear I see those towers in Winnipeg that look like that 5G tower, like the big ones. I don't see the small ones yet, but the repeater stations. But yeah, they're going to run everything off that. The whole show is going to be tied into that.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see if it fries us, or we'll see if it makes our lives better, or if they control us better.
It's going to cause cancer. It's all kinds. That's too much. That's too much electromagnetivity. That it's just too much. Wasn't there a story on it that all the cell phone guys were getting cancer?
Yeah, there was a couple of reports coming out. Actually, there was a couple of reports coming out of Indonesia about that, and there was a couple of reports coming out of, I think it was Western Australia. Sorry, from Perth.
And there was a protester killed in Hong Kong, I see, eh?
Again?
Oh, just one. That's one that I heard of.
Oh, okay, because there's lots of shooting and stuff going on there.
Yeah, well, we're everywhere. Hey, look at my city. We're tied with our record of murders. We're gonna beat our record this year. It's everywhere. It's out of control.
Yeah.
You ever have a murder in that town?
In Merritt?
Yeah.
I think there was a murder.
I'm gonna look that up.
I don't know if there was one I don't know if there was one this year. I think it was last year. Some guy off somebody in his family. I think it was.
What about that guy that walks around giving people finger downtown? Is he still around?
Well, that guy just told me off a few days ago.
Oh, yeah. If I was in your town and he did that, it would be the last time he'd do that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not harassment. He could do that. And when I talk to the police, they keep telling me that is forming an opinion.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would form my boot in his ass.
Sounds like an NWA song. I know which one it is. Gangster, Gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a kick out of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Go get some sleep, dude. Go get some sleep. Well, next week I think we're gonna do big surveillance cities. We need to. It's coming to a city near us, so it's gonna be very interesting to see where things head. Anyways, we'll keep in touch. Thanks for hooking me up there in Jerusalem.
I will. that person will talk to you when it's all over and she'll send you all the pictures and tell you everything that happened. And
Good.
pick the right person there to do that. That's for sure.
Well, I really appreciate that so much. It means a lot to me.
Okay.
God bless you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. So that is the Raven, 2-time world champ on the show. He's got work tomorrow. I could tell he's tired. It's 10, 11, 12. It's like 1 o'clock. He needs to get up around 5, 6. So, let's get what's his face. So I'm getting a lot of people trying to add me on Skype again. And I want to add people on Skype, but I'm going to have to, like, after tonight's little fiasco, I'm going to have to start screening people before the show. It really sucks. I don't want to have to do this kind of crap. I don't want to have to filter crap. You know what I'm saying? But when somebody comes on and pulls a stunt like that, 1, they have no money. 2, they have no life. And 3, they have no power. And 4, most importantly, they don't have the women. Just like Scarface used to say. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. That's what Scarface. That's my conservative motto. All right, let's get what's his face on here. Let's see if Supreme Cannon's still up and about. No answer there. That's from Supreme Cannon. He probably just flicked off the show because he was on there 6 minutes ago. Harlip saying trollers are like shite walkers. Yeah, you got that, buddy. You got that. Oh, that's Supreme right there. Supreme, you there, buddy?
Hey, man, how you doing? Did you just try calling me a minute ago?
Of course I tried calling you a minute ago. Sorry, it wasn't that girl you gave your number to at the nightclub. She gave you the wrong number.
Oh, well, I'm only partly disappointed.
Hold on, I got someone else trying to call me on Skype here.
Okay, I'll just check it out.
No. No. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, here I am.
No. The problem is it's probably someone just trying to get on so they could tell me off again. You know what I'm saying?
How many trolls? I heard that one troll there at the end there. Was
Dude,
there
you
somebody
should have
else?
seen the guy. He forgot to turn off his video camera, so I saw him.
Yeah.
Right, and the guy's not even 5 foot tall.
Wow.
And he's like, I don't know why what issue he has with this show or why he wants to come on here. I have no idea. I don't judge people by their height. But I get judged by my height. When I was a single man down in Vancouver, if you were under 5'10", you are garbage. But anyways.
Oh, God.
I'm just calling a spade, eh?
Yeah, no, that's how it is. It's
okay,
just silly.
worst employment decision you ever made in your life?
Oh, boy. Well, I think becoming a realtor in 2007 was probably not the best move, although it was definitely a learning experience. It turned out to be, and a lot of it was just the timing of when it happened. Like I had bills to pay and I had mouths to feed, and the sawmill I had been running for 6-7 years. We had to shut it down. So yeah, that real estate was really busy, and I thought, well, let's give it a try. So I went and got my license, and I did it for a year and a half total. But it was, it's getting in at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. And that's the same for a lot of careers. Plus, I can say, hi, Elizabeth. I can say too, though, that realtor isn't too bad, Rick. The problem is I needed something that would get up to speed quickly. I had a big monthly nut to crack, and it was real busy. And there were a couple local realtors. Man, as soon as you get your license, we'll get you up and rolling. And it did start out not too bad, but after about 6 months, it started to really dry up. So I wound up, going out finding something else to do. I pulled some strings and I couple of friends of mine. I wound up getting a job at a copper mine up north. So I had to pick up and move. The problem is that if you're going to start in any kind of career, I'm going to say this just because it's a personal anecdote. It's something you can probably relate to too, Mike. I'm not so sure that it's as important what you do for a living as what you do with the money.
Yeah.
And when you talk about, because we've been talking about money. Last week we talked about building wealth. We talked about how are we going to prepare for the crash or, the boogaloo, whatever's going to happen, right? But the other thing is you've got to have people that are with you as well.
Right.
If you're going to be married, you're going to have a family, that kind of a thing. You need people that are on the same team.
That's right.
You need people that share similar values. Or you could make $500,000 a year and it just goes up in smoke.
Right.
You'll just have that much more to lose.
Kind of reminds me of the Griswolds.
You know what I mean? The Griswolds, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you just wind up with this friction, and all the wealth you're trying to accumulate, and all the progress you're trying to make in your career is going to be hobbled. You're not going to be able to accumulate capital to move on to the next big thing because it's going up in smoke. A lot of people that are out there right now, their careers they're in, they would probably enjoy them a lot more if they were actually getting ahead. But the reason they're not getting ahead is because of decisions they made previously, in terms of the things they spent their money on, the things they got into debt for, the kind of expense it was for them to get the education they needed, and no less importantly, who you team up with in your life.
Okay. My question is
no,
now...
I'm not a copper mine anymore, Bob. No, that was 5-6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
I just want to ask you one question. What do you think, in your opinion, is the worst career choice someone could get themselves in?
Well, the funny thing is right now, there are a lot of people, and your list of careers really stuck out to me because in Canada, just about all of those jobs are government funded.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good move. Don't plan on it for the long haul, especially if you're young. When you talk about government, if the money gets tight and they have to start cutting back, it's going to be the younger people that are going to get dropped out first. They're militantly unionized, and there's a lot of seniority.
Well, what if people took that degree or that career so they could get out of Canada?
Well, in a case like that, then it probably makes sense. It's not that they would never be able to find a job, because if the government funding dries up, then eventually they're going to have to permit more private clinics and maybe even private hospitals to open up. So if you have those specialized skills, you're gonna find work. It's highly unlikely that you won't, but it's not something to, don't start your first year of work and then go out and buy $1 million condo, right? Or something like that. Like you're gonna want to save your money. You're gonna want to pay your debts down. You're gonna want to be prudent, just in case. Maybe we'll come up with some magic solution and everything will be just fine. Mm-hmm. But you can't plan on that. The big thing
your
is
your leader, Supreme Canon. Your leader said the books will balance themselves.
Well, sure, and you know what? There are people that will believe that, and those are the people that vote for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the books will balance themselves. Yeah, the guy with the good hair said so. Old boomer ladies, yeah, you could sell them stuff like that. They want to believe that the good times will last forever.
Okay.
How many people talk about this country? I'm sorry, I'll just go on for a second and then I'll stop.
Yeah.
It's how many people believe that just because things have gone on more or less continuously for the last 40, 50 years, that means it's going to keep going forever. Right? Like the odds increase that something is going to blow. We're going to have a black swan of some kind, right? Mm-hmm. And things are going to seize up. PK 3500, government unions are super strong. Government will keep growing or government will be shut down by unions. Yeah, Doug Ford is trying to roll back public sector wages 2%. Mm-hmm. You know what? Which in the end would still put them ahead percentage-wise of most people working in the public center. And yeah, they're the public sector. And yeah, they're basically threatening to shut down the government, to shut down, all of the functions. But the problem is that these people are sawing off the tree limb that they're sitting on, because you've already reached a point where Ontario is the most indebted subnational government on the planet, so it's already basically bankrupt. And these people are demanding, that the gravy train keeps rolling. In fact, they want more.
Yeah.
And of course they do. And in the end, this is why the good things that unions have brought to our lives ultimately blow up in our face, because it always has to be more growth, more benefits, more wages, everything else. The problem is, at a certain point in time, they price themselves beyond affordability. Government is different from a corporation. Ford or General Motors or Fountain Tire or whoever, right? They can pack up their plant, send it to China, or they could send it to Mexico, or they can even send it to a cheaper. They've done it already, or they can send it to a cheaper jurisdiction, even in North America, right? They can relocate somewhere else where the wage structure or maybe the logistics is a little better, right? But the problem is that it is, you've at some point in time, you've got to be able to tell your membership, guys, this is as good as it gets right now, and here are the reasons, right? You're not going to sell that to the union membership, and so they just, in the end, they just wind up killing themselves. They choke to death on their own success.
Yep, that's
that's how
because
I see
the only way to go when you're already on top is to go down. It's the wolf climbing the hill is hungrier than the wolf on top of the hill.
That's right. If you got to run 30, 35, 40, 50 billion dollar a year deficits to keep that government running, in other words, you're borrowing another, $50 billion a year, on your great grandchildren's Visa card. You're incredibly irresponsible, and all you're trying to do is just keep it going long enough for you to be, get old and be safely dead and buried, and then the whole thing could fall apart. Screw people like that. I don't care what happens to them. They can live under a bridge.
Okay. Just a couple of shout outs here. I-10 trucker shout out from Julio Fernandez. He says, Fuerza Mike. We got Vasquez in New Mexico saying, Mike, don't listen to trolls. That guy, you're right. He has no life. Juanes in Puerto Rico saying, Mike in the Nights, I'm listening to you right now. I can't believe that you have less in and around 100 listeners, that this is not correct. Juliana in Margarita Island in Venezuela saying, Buenos dias, Mike. And Josh in Manhattan, Rex in London, England, Clifton in Welland, and Marcos in Albufeira, Portugal, watching the show right now live as we speak. Okay, now, Supreme Canon, I'm going to give you this very important question because I want everyone listening to pay attention to what I'm going to ask you right now, okay?
Okay.
If you were to do it all over again and you were going to start a brand new career and you're 25 and you already knew what you knew now and you're younger, what career would you want people, or what career do you think you would get into or other people should look at right now?
Boy, that's a great question. I mean, I can look back over 35 years and say, well, there's some things I wish that I had done, even fairly simple things. But the things to get into now, I'll tell you, you hear a lot of talk about trades. That's not wrong. HVAC and electrician, plumbing, stuff like that. I would say get at least one trade. But if that's not your shtick, right? If that's not what you think you want to do with your life, I would say find a business that is steady, that is got a lot of staples that people need regardless of demand. Like you might start out stocking shelves at Save On Foods, right? But Save On Foods is an enormous company, and it's a very well-run company. There were people back in the 70s and 80s, they started out flipping burgers at McDonald's, and you know what? Simply because they decided that was the career path they were going to go on, they wound up owning their own store. It's in the end, what it's going to be is it's going to be tenacity, guys. And I've said it before, and I strongly believe that it's true. It doesn't matter half as much what you do for a living as what you do with the money. That's the thing. Yeah,
Okay,
taking
let's
them,
look
not
at it
getting married,
from
not have
being
kids.
happy point of view. I got people in the comments
Mhm.
complaining, saying, "Well, working in a trade kills your body. Doing this, doing that."
Yeah,
Like, so let's say
sure.
Supreme Canon, you're 25 years old, you know what you knew, you know what you know now, but you're 25, you're looking to get into something. Where's the first place you're going to look at for employment?
Well, the first thing you're going to do,
No,
assuming
you.
that you don't, me,
Yeah.
what's the first thing I'm going to do?
Yeah, if you're
Well,
25 and you know what you know now.
25 knowing what I know now, I would probably have gone to Caribou College, or Thompson Rivers it is now, and I would have got a warehouseman or a parts person certificate. I could have worked in any warehouse in the world. I could have worked for Finning. I could have worked for Save-On. I could have worked for Costco. Just basically maintaining inventory, loading, unloading trucks. A lot of your work is indoors.
Mm-hmm.
You're working with all kinds of different stuff, and it pays pretty good. And the thing is, as businesses got larger and more consolidated, logistics has been a huge thing for, especially with a just-in-time inventory kind of world that we have now. I never really wanted to be an over-the-road truck driver. So people keep saying we're going to have these self-driving trucks on the road. I can think of all kinds of reasons why that's going to be a real tough sell. I think there's going to be some major lawsuits and some major liability issues if those things go on the road and we start having accidents, or a couple of 3 really bad ones.
So we got
It's those things sound, everyone talks about progress is inevitable and this is just the way it's going to be. No, man. No, history is not linear. History is dynamic. Things change. We were all going to have flying cars, remember? We were all going to.
I remember in the year,
fly,
in 1984, 1985, we were talking about how we're going to have flying cars, blah, 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 and people are going to be flying to work in the future.
Yeah. Well, in 1968, that was when 2001: A Space Odyssey came out, right? It was somebody's vision of what the future would look like in the year 2001. Well, 2001 is ancient history, and we never went anywhere near that. And part of the reason was there was no economic reason to do it. I mean, it was just kind of a back alley, dick comparison contest between America and the Soviet Union. Forgive the language, but you know what I'm talking about. Basically, once America won the race, or at least had the photographs and the film to indicate they won the race, that was the end of it. People lost interest in it. They had other things on their mind in those days. Flying cars exist. $400K for a decent one. Yeah, well, it's just basically an airplane. Airplanes are expensive and they're dangerous. So there's a reason. There's a reason you don't have them everywhere.
Okay, I wanted to ask you. Do you think? This is my opinion. This is what I've been thinking for the last couple of months. I believe that the new space race is this quantum computing, and a lot of governments are keeping it under wraps. Do you think our new space race of 2019 is quantum computing?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm not an expert about quantum computing. If the
Neither
idea
am I.
is,
Nope, I don't know, because I was talking to someone the other day that's been working on algorithmic quantum computing in Vancouver now for 8 years, and they're having a tough time to program it. And they're professionals. So neither one. But could the quantum computing be the new space race? The space race to end all technology. The technology that will end all technology.
Yeah, it could be. It just comes down to the law of diminishing returns, Mike. These things are incredibly complicated, and as I understand, they're not that nimble. Like in terms of crunching billions of numbers to solve complicated equations, it sounds like that's where their gift is. But in terms of using them to run your fridge or something, I mean, talk about overkill.
No, it wouldn't
You know
be
what
for
I
that.
mean? Like
I don't think quantum
or
computing will
AI
hit
or
households
like
for at least another maybe 4 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 decades.
Like
I'm talking about it's going to be used. They're going to have one room in some safeguarded area, one room, and that one room will have enough quantum computing in it to run all the surveillance cameras in their entire country. And it'll be impenetrable, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I understand. I basically understand the concept. Yeah, it's possible. The idea is some kind of technological singularity that gives somebody, be it a government or a corporation or someone else, the ability to know everything that's going on and process everything that's going on in the world, all the dynamic interactions between human beings and all of their transactions and the things they do, but also, probably to predict what they're going to do, right? You would need something like that in order to simulate actual intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not around the corner. They don't even understand how the human brain works, really.
Oh, we haven't even scratched the surface of how it works.
No, of course not. Of course not. And I think the more they do, the more they're going to get to a point where they're going to open up some door and they're going to see something that could only be like a soul. And they're going to close the door and go, okay, well, we can't tell anybody about that, right? I don't know. That's what I think. I could be wrong about that. But we don't need those things. We already have real intelligence. It's called human beings.
Right.
We have plenty of those. They're cheap to make, and they're even fun to make. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense. Why do we need to replace people with all this stuff? If it's because the people themselves have turned into a bunch of pricks, well, that's real simple. Just, teach them some manners again. It's just, okay, well, we're going to have this super, kind of a Blade Runner / Star Wars, shiny, sexy, liberated, secular science fiction future where everybody, like Brave New World or something like that. If anyone's familiar with that book, that was written in 1931, and it's pretty amazing what a, technological and technocratic wet dream that book was. I'm sure there's a lot of people in governance that thought this would be just great. But the problem is that you still got something called heart and soul. You've still got something that has to be fed, and it can't be fed by more, carbs, and more smut and more digital diversions. Like, you need real things to do with your mind and with your hands.
Right.
If you're not doing that, then you're creating a suboptimal world for human happiness, and there's no point. So, they might go ahead with all this technology, Mike, but it's just going to be something where people no longer find a point to live in it. And they're not going to conveniently just kill themselves so that all the weirdos can carry on. They're going to burn it to the ground. We're not going to continue to grow the economy at 7% a year over year forever. That's not going to work. It's gone hockey stick already. We're going to have a financial crash, or we're going to have a sudden shortage in some kind of critical material, and this whole thing is going to lock up. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to have millions of people starving, but what it means is they're going to have to go back to something more analog, something more, just something simpler. People are going to have.
But there's no telling that to NASA. There's no telling that to our governments. I think our new space race is quantum computing. I believe that it's going to break the threshold, and is it going to be good for us, like you said?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Is it going to be good for the average human? No. Would it impose more control? Yes. Will it impose more fear? Yes. Would it impose more cancers and more crap, like with the 5G? Because for 5G to work properly, you need a good computing. You need good computing for 5G to be, instead of having like the whole cryptocurrency network we were talking about earlier with the Raven. Instead of having all these computers all over the world mining Bitcoin, they could have one room, and that one room with quantum computing could basically organize the Bitcoin or mine the Bitcoin for an entire country in quantum computing, so they could monitor their country with their currency under one roof, as opposed to having a pile of computers doing all the number crunching.
Oh, sure. Yeah. The whole idea is to centralize the control and make things simple so that, somebody in a position to set policy can set that policy with as much as possible real-time feedback from the people that have to live with those policies. I don't think it's all just a matter of, okay, we're going to improve control so that we can just torture people. I am sure there are some psychos that feed off the agony that they put people through with their policies. I'm sure of that. Some people are just jerks. There's no other way to put it. Well, I could put it stronger, but I won't on here. We'll keep it PG-13. But there's always someone fighting back against that. The thing about quantum computing or anything that puts the world at someone's fingertips, if that person is not competent, then human beings will just barter. They'll say, screw it, I'm not playing. If it's going to be a matter, it still comes down to the same thing. If they can't get people to do what they want, well, then they're going to pass laws. And if people won't obey them, they're going to have to put more cops on the street. It's going to be ruinously expensive to try to enforce something that is not improving happiness. And a lot of people are just empty shells, right? Bread and circuses will work for them. But there's always going to be a sizable minority, at least. I don't want to sound elitist. Maybe I'm one of them too. I don't know. But you're still the goal has to be, if you're going to create utopia, you've got to sell that utopia to people. And they're not doing a good job of selling it. They're just telling us, well, this is progress and this is how it's going to be and it's going to be so great and we can't wait. And look how many people are already being left behind by the nonsense they're doing already, right? Like, I'm sure that there were a lot of people in the French aristocracy in the late 1700s that thought, man, life is great and it's just going to get better, right? And within 18 months, they were riding in a cart for their date with the guillotine. And something new and bloody arose and took over from there. But the bottom line is, even after that, they tried to go back to the old ways, and they hadn't learned a damn thing. And I think that's where we are now. It's kind of a quieter revolution. There is unfortunately a lot of beheading right now, but it's still, you've got a disruption in the matrix, if you will. And these people are just trying to, see you later, Leaf. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, see you
and
later,
they're trying to. And they're trying to reestablish their manufactured consent of the population, and they're getting resistance for it. And their only answer so far is to try to deplatform people. I mean, we have social credit already. You've been demonetized. You're getting your views choked. You're not pouring gravy down your pants, and you're being punished for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? We have social credit here. It's happening. They want more of this. They want more control over your life. The Internet of Things.
To invest this money in this technology, in this sector, creating this and making this, and what? I got 24, maybe 30 good years left to live in my life. What the F is the point? It's costing them more to monitor me than it would to actually create a longer lasting light bulb or get us to Mars. Why would they even invest any time following me when my life expectancy is going to be, if I get 25 good years left? What's the point?
Control. And some of it is experiment. I mean, we're always going on the assumption that these people behind the scenes pushing the buttons and pulling the levers know exactly what they're doing. No, they don't. This is an incredibly complex society. There's things that hit them in the shins on a regular basis. So far it's an attempt to restrict access to the world, to the internet, and to other people as much as possible, right?
We got Mix in the comments saying I've been unsubscribed from Mike's channel like a few times now. I don't know what's going on. It's not just him. I've had many people messaging me saying, I didn't know that you're not making videos anymore. I'm like, I sure am. I had a guy from Arizona come into my store a few weeks ago and told me, are you still making videos? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I don't see you anymore. I go to my channel, it's unsubscribed. I'm like, well, it's not subscribed. He's like, yeah, it is. I used to watch you every day. You know? You there?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He was unsubscribed, but he was still watching you.
No. He used to watch me, but he was unsubscribed, and he never saw my stuff anymore. And he came into my store, and he told me he can't find me anymore.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
What, on YouTube?
On YouTube.
But you're on YouTube. It's. I mean, if you
he brought in his tablet. I saw his tablet.
Out of sight, out of mind. You go click on the start page and.
I went on his tablet. He
literally could not find your channel on YouTube.
No, I went on his tablet, okay? I went through his thing, And I wasn't. He wasn't subscribed to me.
Yeah.
He was subscribed to 8
Okay.
other channels. I go, but look, you're not subscribed to me. He says, yes, I am. I've been subscribed to you. He says he's been subscribed to me, like in and around the 800th subscriber. And I know his comments when he comments on my videos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he came to see me in person because he was in town from
Right,
Arizona.
right.
He spoke to me. He told me. He showed me his tablet. I went through it. And then we resubscribed to me and then rang the bell. Okay. Then he messaged me like a few days after when he left town saying it was unsubscribed again.
Wow.
And that's not the first person
Yeah,
to tell me that.
well,
Lots of people have told me that they keep getting unsubscribed to my channel. And it happened to RT, and RT brought it up. And they were getting reports from thousands of people of saying that they've been unsubscribed to RT, Russia Today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know RT's had a lot of problems. Well, obviously, the American government really doesn't like RT for obvious reasons. In a case like that, I'm wondering, because it's not something that I've ever seen. And I watch a lot of your videos, and how many times have I called in now since January, right? These things aren't happening to me. They seem to be happening to certain people. And I'm wondering if somewhere along the line they actually put some kind of a script on your device or on your computer so that it unsubscribes your particular device.
Interesting.
You know, it seems kind of strange that, I mean, they're shadow banning, right? Like, there's certain people, if they're isolated and anonymized, they don't know that other people have been blocked or their notifications aren't getting through or they're being unsubscribed, right? I mean, you can tell from your own views, right, that they're being scrubbed, right? Or they're being throttled. You've been demonetized. Last Wednesday, you had damn near 400 people watching. Obviously, it isn't on all the time, right? It seems to be some kind of random harassment, and I don't know if it's an algorithm. I don't imagine it's some purple-haired person with a bone in their nose hitting a button sitting at a desk. It's probably something in their programming where they just turn a dial and they throttle it up. They turn it up or turn it down. I don't know.
Okay.
Because there's millions of channels on here.
If there's millions, yeah.
It's got to be automatic.
We got Tignim saying, I can't find you on BitChute. I'm right here on BitChute. If you go to my channel, right beside my Instagram, you'll see a little bubble, and that's the BitChute right there. You can click on it, and that should go to my BitChute right there. I got 61 subscribers on there. So I do upload from time to time when I have patience, but it's really tough to upload to that site. There's always problems.
Well, it's obviously not as well financed or well developed as the Googleplex, right? So it probably does take a while longer. Yeah, Sopica Matt. Yeah, I'm speculating out loud. You probably know better than I do. It probably is on the back end. It's just that some people are being, it seemed to be unsubscribed, and it seems to be targeted to them directly, as opposed to a mass unsubscribing. It's never happened to me. I've been subscribed to Mike the whole time and never had a problem. And I've called in as much or more than just about anybody else. So it seems like it's something random. It might be directed, but I don't know. It seems kind of scattershot, right? Mike's dad, they want everyone to rely on alerts, so if they take a channel down, you won't notice. Basically, they want this stuff to quietly fade, right? They want it to be something where they keep you isolated and you think, oh, well, maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
Or, maybe they must have taken his channel down because I went looking for it in my subscriptions tab and it's not there anymore. But it turns out he was there. So that's why it's suggested to me like it's a script that would actually insinuate itself onto your device or your computer, but it seems to be random. It doesn't make any sense. And exactly why they do it. Well, there's a political angle to it, but
we got
Sorry,
a
go
guy
ahead,
here.
Mike.
We got Hector in Albuquerque, who just sent me a Skype message saying, Mike, that's impossible. I'm going to tell you straight up. I know at least 5 people in my area in Albuquerque that watch you and that have found you through via housing, and they're watching you on Mike in the Night. I know they're watching. And he's basically, what he's trying to say is that I have 125 people watching. Do you think they even screw around with that? Like, if I have 5 people in Albuquerque area watching me, just 5, and there's 125 people, what are the odds of the percentages? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. You got a lot of new names on here going through the comment thread, and your comment thread is it's lit up like a Christmas tree right now. It's they're probably choking all of it back, and probably it's so that.
Okay. So here we got Victoria here. In San Juan, she's saying the same thing. She's saying, "Yeah, I'm watching it, and my aunt is watching your show right now too."
Yeah.
So that's 7 people. So you telling me? So how many people are we realistically reaching all over the world? We got all those I-10 truckers that are listening to us live.
Yeah, you've got a lot of people tuning in. Yeah, absolutely.
But what I'm saying is, like, the 121 people viewing, is that realistic?
Just from the number of comments going by on here, I would guess it's more than that. You know, but the part of it too is it's 125 watching right now is what I'm seeing. But you've got people that come in and come out all the time. Too. Like, there are some that probably tune into the start of your show, or they heard what they wanted to heard, or they were moving through to something else, like channel surfing, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that could be a dynamic number. It could be, okay, it's not 123 people that are watching. It's just, they were clicking through from somewhere else. I mean, if all 125 people were watching the show, well, it just went to 123. Did 2 of them, did they just lose their internet, or did they click through from somewhere else? Like, that number could be turning over rapidly. You could have people clicking on and clicking off on a constant basis. I don't know what internet service is in different places all over the world. Maybe every second time I'm calling to you.
Mike's watching. I'm watching you from India. I left Canada about a month ago after 8 months because of the politics and the economy is too abrasive. So, I just wish the analytics was more in depth to show, because if I have 5 people alone watching me from Albuquerque and there's 124 people watching, I'm just talking about the odds of that one little city. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know how to explain it in English to try and explain it to you, what I'm trying to say.
Your audience right now is probably larger than that number is suggesting. Yes. Yeah,
because if there's probably if there's 4 or 5 people watching me just from Albuquerque, something's not right.
Well, the number watching right now is part of your analytics, right? So your total views, your interactions, the number of people watching, total number of views, even after this video goes off the air and you upload it afterwards, they're probably throttling all of them.
Yeah, I think so.
And part of it is partly to discourage people who are watching it. Oh, okay, well, this is just a little pissant show. I'm going to go watch something else. Someone's pouring gravy down their pants 3 channels over. I'll go there. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got turkey gravy tonight because it's Thanksgiving. That's perfect. Yeah, we're gonna turkey gravy in the pants. Perfect. Yeah. It all depends on what people are looking for, right? You're going to have a smaller audience by definition because of your subject matter. You know what? It's going to be fairly narrow. I mean, doesn't mean it's not still millions of potential people, but it's going to be fairly. We don't talk about the Kardashians on here. Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Hey,
hold on.
Late on Saturday night.
Okay, I got Janet just Skype messaging me. Hey, Mike, watching you live right now with my boyfriend in Auckland, New Zealand. And my baby's screaming. Okay, and then she's typing. Hold on, she's typing. She's typing, hold on. A lot of people know you here. Don't doubt yourself. And then she's saying, yeah, and then she's saying everyone at work knows me. At her workplace. What do you do for work?
Yeah.
I'm just asking her.
Yeah.
She's a logistics director. What does that mean?
Well, there you go. I was just talking about logistics.
Yeah.
Logistics director, well, depends on the industry that she's in, but she's probably either in materials purchasing and handling or
Something like that, yeah.
or running a warehouse.
So people in her job
Something
know
like that,
her, know
or
me.
intermodal, you know, trains, planes.
So people at her work know
you've
me, I
probably
guess.
got
So
a fair, you probably got a fair size audience.
we got Ray Palmer saying in our chat here that we could see, watching you, Mike, from Perth in Australia. Stay true, dude.
Oh yeah, all the way, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we're taking the opportunity. I mean, the analytics is discouraging because I think you should have twice the subscribers you have now. Now, the rate of growth that you had over the last year, you should be twice what you are now. But
Okay, I got another message
Pardon
in.
me, guys.
There's a message from Poland. Watching me from outside of Poland.
Go ahead.
His name is Leszek. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Leszek, who's outside 29 miles east of Poland, of Warsaw, Warsaw, Poland. His name is Leszek, and he's watching me right now too.
Oh man, he's up early in the morning.
Yep. So
I
but what
guess-
I'm
well, I
saying to
guess
you,
it's
what I'm
6
saying
hours.
to you, like in realistically, is like, yeah, it doesn't know. Yeah, I don't believe in this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, for some reason I don't. Yeah.
No, we don't know. All this means. Yeah, I'm fine, Elizabeth. Thanks. I just
Okay, I got another
I'm still
one.
still clearing out.
YouTube. Another Skype one. Somebody's watching me from. I'm watching you from Japan. You really should have more viewers. YouTube must be holding you back. So someone watching from Japan now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so-
it's yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, you're right, Sapika. It's not accurate. They're messing with your analytics, and the reason for that is either to discourage you, or to get you to change your message, or to discourage people from watching you. Right? There's a certain critical mass of people that it seems that past that point, then your numbers start to go hockey stick. You know what I mean? Like they start to really take off. And I've seen it with several channels that I've watched over the years that have either been taken off YouTube or have been choked back or demonetized. And they probably got some kind of routine, algorithm or something. I use the term algorithm. Some of you know the better term better than I do. But it seems like the idea is to keep you throttled to a certain point so that you don't go exponential, right? Get that hockey stick where you really start to expand your audience. So the real numbers, you don't know the real numbers. That's the bottom line. You don't know the real numbers, but they're almost definitely much larger than what we're seeing right now.
Well, here's the difference. Listen to the difference on this. I got this guy right now. Another person messaged me in Skype. Typhoid. He's messaging me from Iceland. He's watching me in Iceland. He's been watching me in Iceland, and he says something about a station, and there's a group that listens to me in Iceland, and I've already mentioned them on my show a few times actually. This group that listens to Mike in the Night in Iceland, they follow me on trends in the housing market, right? Mm-hmm. So. It's weird because it doesn't make any sense. Like when I go to my analytics, it's like when I go to my analytics, I'm not getting any correct numbers. Like before, my number one viewership was from Australia.
Yeah.
It was like 60%. And now Australia is not even in the top 10. So I'm being held back in Australia for some reason.
Yeah, they're messing with a lot of things there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to be like 60% of my viewership was from down under.
Well, the housing market alone, I mean, there's a lot of people in Australia, no doubt, are experiencing what we're experiencing here. It's the same everywhere.
And
right?
I've been predicting this crap for years.
I
haven't been post-dicting. I've been predicting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a few that have been trying to call this thing and for a while, and some of it is just simple math. But you still got to have a feel for it, for sure. I mean, the timing will never be exact because you're talking about an enormous, complex thing with the individual decisions of hundreds of thousands or millions of people. You're always going to be looking for, the trend, right? But no, you've been calling it, and you called it to that specific jurisdiction, and Australia seems to have a real problem with that. But what about Walk the World? You know, they're down there, aren't they? They're in New Zealand or Australia. Are they getting choked, I wonder?
I don't know.
Maybe it's because of country of origin. Because it seems to me that there are some down there that are I don't know, they're probably being throttled too, but they don't seem to be getting messed with the way that you are.
Well, so Pika is saying lots of problems in YouTube is having is because of new internet laws in different countries. That's right there. That right there makes a lot of sense because there's different internet laws in different countries. Because
well, that's the thing too. That's a good point, and I'd like to take us to address as well. Oh, and David was like, can you see my comment? Yeah, we see you perfectly. You bet. Just to confirm that if you're still here. Yeah, there are new internet laws in all these different countries. So I want to point that out, guys. The idea that there is this enormous global matrix that's about to take over the world is obviously not true, because there's laws being passed all the time. Now, a lot of them have to do with restricting people's access to information, and that's a problem. But as long as there are countries in the world where that's not an issue, and you're on the internet, whether through VPN or anything else, you can still access that information. Like China regulates its internet, but we're getting all these videos out of Hong Kong right now, and even Tiananmen Square, somebody got news footage out of there. Well, that was going on. So it's harder to regulate all that than it sounds. I mean, even putting up millions of cameras, well, it's still going to be, people wearing uniforms and collecting a government paycheck monitoring all this stuff. It's not going to be efficient. It's going to be something where you got to be a little bit nimble and a little bit aware, but you can get around it.
So
it's going to be tough.
Some Kus on Affordable Australia saying Australia is very authoritarian like China.
Yeah, it's sounding like it. It sounds like individual freedom is really getting whacked in the shins down there, and it's not good. But I'm hoping that some of those Aussies will, start rising up.
Well, we have someone from Chile watching. Hola, Mike, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien aquí, estoy mirando tu transmisión, estoy aquí en Santiago de Chile, mucha fuerza y mucha suerte, gracias hermano. So there's someone watching me in Chile. So you're telling me,
Yeah, what's he saying?
No, he's basically saying, I'm watching your channel from Chile. Good show. Yeah. I watch it all the time. So I mean...
Great.
Like, so I'm getting flooded now with a lot of Skype messages now. Like I have like 13 unread ones. Look. Wow. Brisbane checking in, Mike. And then this one was for like 30 seconds ago. Isle of Man? What the hell is Isle of Man?
Isle of Man is off the coast of England. It's in the Irish Sea, I believe.
Okay, Isle of Man checking in. Iceland checking in. Iceland checking in. Holy crap.
Nice.
New Hampshire. Providence, Rhode Island. Where's this? Johannesburg, South Africa.
Wow.
Wow, I'm just getting bombarded with Skype messages. Holy. I have like 1,400 people on Skype, right?
Yeah, that number has gone up quite a bit even in the last couple months, hasn't it?
Yeah. And then there's a lot of people that want to add me on Skype that are messaging me right now, watching right now. Alberta. We got somebody here from Miami Beach, Florida. Woo! It's late down there.
Yeah. Just got back from
Ontario.
Salsa practice.
Oh, Dublin, Ireland. Good job, Mike, watching you from Belfast with the wife. Interesting.
Yeah. Like, it sounds like there's a whole lot more than 120 odd people watching right now.
There's another one here from Belfast just messaged me right now.
Yeah, you have 11,000 subscribers. Even if only 10% of them were tuning in to your mic in the night, that would be 1,100 people. Are you still
Interesting.
there?
Interesting.
Can you still hear me?
Of course I could hear you.
Okay, good. I thought I heard something go bleep, and I thought maybe my Skype had gone south on me. So good.
Oh, there we go. Like, I just got Shanghai Larry message me.
What's
He's
new
in
there?
the Shenzhen province.
Oh, okay, just north of Hong Kong.
Yep. We got here Jan Shuan saying, watching you from Australia, new law just passed where authority small a can throw you into a health system for being obsessive. Example, asking too many questions.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That stuff is going to get really tight. But this is the thing. Somewhere along the line, there's going to be a court challenge. The thing is, the system is still complicated, and that's a problem for the average person. But it's also a problem for the people that are running it and trying to enslave you. They still have to maintain the semblance of democracy, right? They still have to maintain the idea that this is for the public good. And what they do, it seems like they throw a lot of stuff out there, say it's for the public good, and then force people to fight back and overturn it. And if they overturn 90% of it, well, then they still got 10% of it. They still move the needle further to the left, right? But you're getting to a point now where they're not selling you on utopia anymore, right? There's just too many people that are obviously not cooperating or obviously not going to be mindless consumer drones, actually care about their history and their culture and their heritage and want something better for their kids and grandkids. And these people don't have an answer for them, and ignoring them is a pretty short-term and a pretty short-sighted strategy. They've gotten sloppy. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. These are I've said it before, and I still believe it's true. The evil geniuses that concocted all this stuff 100 years ago are all long dead. This is their inbred grandchildren running this thing now. They're just used to getting their way. Right. And now they're starting to not get their way. And they're think about this Greta Thunberg thing, right? This 16-year-old that they trotted out as the Joan of Arc for the planet kind of a thing, right? Nobody's buying this. And the people who are buying it, nobody cares about them. They think they're idiots. We don't care. Right? Who cares? The urban termite mounds. Yeah, well, when you literally don't know where the carrots at Whole Foods come from, nobody takes them seriously. And there's only so much that they can impose before, the supply lines start drying up. You can't throw.
We got Jan saying they've got drugs and electric shock still in Queensland Health. Hold on. Let's go over back home, man. I'm getting bombarded with Skype messages. I got 44 messages. Holy crap. Everyone's coming on Skype now and messaging me, telling me they're watching live. We got Luke in Perth. We got Peter Johnston in Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah.
We got Dallas Marcus in Phoenix. We got Audrey in South Carolina. I'm just reading through some of the comments so I don't have to read the whole what they're saying, right? We got Anthony M. in where's this? In Texas. Anthony Marcus in Texas. We got Noel watching from Darwin, Australia. And then we got Jose Catala watching from Madrid. So I think I'm getting bombarded with so many of this stuff now. So
yeah, is it spam or are these people checking in?
No. These people are messaging me right now because we're on live.
Okay.
So they're messaging me now on Skype to tell me like I'm watching you right now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. They're checking in.
There's a lot of them checking in. Oh, here's another one here. from Manchester, Jamaica.
Yeah.
Is it Manchester in Jamaica?
That's probably the name of a city in Jamaica.
Yeah. We got somebody here from Tahiti. Yeah, I can't even pronounce that name.
Tahiti.
Yeah, I can't even pronounce the name.
Yeah.
Feminista from Tahiti.
Formosa?
No.
Oh, from Tahiti. Oh, okay.
No, Tahiti. I don't know.
Some funky Polynesian name.
Yeah. So, yeah.
John Yu.
TJ Jack from California's watching. RG. I don't know where he's watching from the Philippines. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. John Yu, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Sir. It's all good, but ask a question.
Okay, we have him. Steve Stevens. No. Yes, Manchester is in Jamaica. It's in
Bauxite
County. Yeah, I got quite a few people that watch me from Jamaica from another big. There's a big YouTuber down there. I think his name is Marcus St. Clair, and he basically promotes my channel down there in Jamaica too. So
nice.
Yeah. So
nice. Yeah. Well, that's good, and you've got people that are helping you move this thing forward too, and that's great. That's really good. It's nice. It's I really I enjoy the interactions in the comments, and I definitely enjoy the opportunity to call in and spill some of my thoughts here. I don't want to hog the mic all night here, but
I'm going to sleep after you, man.
Yeah,
I've been talking for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, well, 120 watching, so I haven't driven too many away anyway. It's the thing about what's going on in the world right now, and I'm gonna go really, really big picture for a moment. I've mentioned here the idea they have to sell utopia to. They're doing a lousy job. So either they really don't know what they're doing, or they think they've got to a point where they don't have to anymore. They can just pass rules and take over. But they're getting pushback. And again, the most important vote of all, whether you live in a democracy or not, okay, is what you do with your day, what you do with your money. What are you supporting and not supporting? There's no need for you don't need a mass movement. All you have to do is check the contents of your own heart. If there are things out there that you've been participating in, or you've been buying or consuming, that they don't support things that are important to you, look for alternatives. If 10 million people in the Western world said, okay, well, I'm not going to buy your overpriced real estate, and I'm not going to buy your overpriced cars, and I'm not going to put my money into your ridiculous investments, and they voted en bloc for a third party that, even though they never necessarily got control of the government, managed to do what the Green Party did in British Columbia, or the NDP in the last federal election, where you've got those votes that enable the governing party. They have to talk to you in order to make anything happen, and you start to lean things more in your direction. We're getting pushback. The internet is a two-edged sword. The people that developed it, the idea was, okay, we're going to literally change the world with this thing. But the idea was we're going to control the world. The problem is these people are boring. They have no sense of humor. All they understand is violence and smut. Mm-hmm. And when the violence and smut, when people get tired of that and seeing the damage it does in their own lives and in their own hometowns, right, they start looking for alternatives. You have 121 people, according to the official YouTube stats, that are on here from all over the world on a Saturday night. Right? Mm-hmm. They're not at the clubs. Right? They're not watching, sports. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're not doing any of that. They're here wanting to participate and interact and learn.
Speaking of here,
hopefully teach.
Petrov, here in the Skype from St. Petersburg, Russia, watching, and he's basically saying that he would comment more often, but he watches me on his big TV.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of people that do watch the
stream.
show that tell me that they don't
Yeah.
they do watch me, but they don't comment in the comments because they're watching it on a television.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm using my TV as a monitor right now.
No. They watch
so
it like you know how you have YouTube built into the TVs now?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean smart TV, right? So people watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're watching the stream, but they're not maybe seeing the chat go by, or they can't participate directly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pet
Yeah. I'm too old for clubbing too, Robert. Yeah. I'm way past that, I'm afraid. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. It's like I've said many times, and I'll say it. I'll sum it up. History is not linear. It's dynamic. You have all of these forces that are constantly pushing against each other. So it's not going to go one way. You could be pleasantly surprised about the way things could be in 5 short years.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be that bad. There's going to be some reckoning, obviously, but there needs to be. And that's good. Consequences are good. Consequences mean that some things are still true and they can't be, signed in, you can't sign the opposite into law.
You know what the funny
Right?
thing
Like,
is? It's like
math
when
isn't
the market crashed in, was it 80, 81? 80, 81, 82? They raised interest rates to like 13% overnight. And then literally overnight, the economy basically started to recover almost instantly when they raised interest rates like that high.
Yeah, well, the money had an actual price to it again. The thing is, money is supposed to represent human labor and toil and sweat and creativity. And that's why when you put it in the bank, you were expecting them to pay you to hold it, right? You were loaning your money to the bank. Now the bank basically charges you to hold your cash. And then they say, well, don't hold cash because inflation will eat up the value. Well, if you put it in the bank and they're basically charging you to hold it, well, then you've just increased the rate of inflation. You're better off to take that cash and put it into something else, or literally put it in your mattress.
So we got,
just hang on to it.
Cesar Rosa watching us from Medellin, Colombia. I got like 70 Skype messages here, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do a show this week on just those messages.
Marcus from Marcus is watching from Martinique.
Yeah.
Jameson is watching from Key West. It's really early in the morning.
Welcome, yeah, no kidding. Welcome, everyone. It's great to hear that you're here.
Yeah, I mean, it's all these weird like places from everywhere. I guess the internet, it kind of backfired. But you know what? Let me say something, Supreme. Let's say there's this guy watching me in St. Petersburg. Okay? He's watching me, right?
Sure.
But he's not watching global news, let's say, from Ontario, because he can't see it. He's not watching, let's say, KTLA news from Los Angeles.
Right.
But he's watching Mike in the Night.
Yeah.
So that's why these big corporate companies are getting peed off because they're not reaching the masses like YouTube people are.
Yeah, they're not controlling what you say, and they're not controlling what you think anymore. And the fact is, their product is just not very good. They're getting to the point where they've been trying to push the window so far to the left in the progressive direction for so long that they've left. Beg your pardon, everyone. They've left half the population of the world behind. Like they've just literally gone so far that all of the ties that were pulling everybody along, finally they just snapped. And then you got a bunch of people standing there at first for a few years going, okay, well, what's going on? We're over here. We don't want to do any of that. And they just got ignored. And, we're leaving you behind. You're the wrong side of history. And then somebody came along and said, hey, if you vote for me, I'll shake things up. Right? Like these things happen on a delay, right? Like the election of someone like Trump, right? Brexit in the UK, Doug Ford in Ontario. people are you got a lot of people on the progressive side of the spectrum saying, oh, they're terrible and we need to get rid of that. It's like, no, dudes, you don't understand. You're too late. Mm-hmm. You had your chance to govern for the whole province or the whole country. You had your chance to make this work. You had your chance to make this pitch. You got lazy, you got complacent, and you waited way too friggin' long. It's like I said about the uprising in Chile and in Santiago and in Beirut and in Hong Kong. It's like, no, you people, the reason this is happening is because you're too late. You screwed up. These people know the deal now, and they know that you don't really care, that you're not even thinking about them. Right?
Like, can you say that thing again? That one time that made me laugh. The people that this whole climate change with this girl who's the Joan of Arc, and the people that follow her, nobody cares about them. Can you say that again?
Oh, I can't remember it verbatim. I'll have to play it back later. Yeah,
that was funny.
Nobody cares about them.
I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, the people that follow this Greta girl, idiots. Nobody even cares about these people.
No, nobody cares about them. I don't want people like that having any say in my life whatsoever. Like none. I don't care what they have to say anymore. It's obvious that we won't agree. Fine. Stay in your urban termite mound and have a great life. Just leave me out of it. Mm-hmm. I don't want anything to do with it. You don't want to compromise. You don't want to negotiate. You don't want to try to find some kind of common ground. You're just going to yell at me until you get what you want. How about bugger off?
Yeah.
Simple as that. And that doesn't necessarily mean that every nation state in the world has to bust up. But the government's trying to ride herd all over these people. They gotta, they need a kick in the shins.
Yeah. You know what my favorite line is? Like there was, I can't remember what I was doing. I was in downtown Vancouver. I was doing something, and they were protesting something. So I'm at the stoplight, right? Like I'm standing at the stoplight because I'm going to cross the street, like walk across. I wasn't in a vehicle, right?
Yeah.
And some guy comes up to me and says, "Well, what do you think of this whole movement in Antifa and they're doing the right thing?" And I look over at him and I said, "Hey, buddy, why don't you just get the F out of here?" And then he looked at me and he just walked away. So like it's like you said, nobody cares about these people. It's like, "Hey, buddy." This is the best line. It's go, "Hey, man," or "Hey, buddy, why don't you just get the out of here?"
Yeah.
I mean, I just have to bring that up because I was in a couple of, tangled in a few protests in downtown Vancouver. Get the out of here, man. Who cares? Nobody cares. Well, and then when you said that Greta thing and nobody cares about them, that brought that memory back in the back of my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, they've got to they need a whack in the shins. They need figuratively speaking, right? They need to understand that there's just a whole lot of people that don't care about them, don't care about their opinions. Most of these people, everything comes out of their mouth is the intellectual property of some television show anyway. It's pretty obvious. The idea of, exactly, Ryan Holden, NPC, the non-playable character. That's what they are. Mm-hmm. And shame on them. Because if you talk to them individually, some of them, it's amazing that they will have insights. But when it comes to, the issues of the day, they're depressingly mainstream. They're not open to anything different at all. And so it's like people like that, they can't have a say in your life. You have to do everything you can possible to reduce their power.
Sorry, I see you talking and I see you deleting messages at the same time while you're talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that. I'm noticing you're talking and you're also deleting messages. Man, you're a Superman.
Yeah. I'm doing what I can here. I've seen some streams that are, just got ridiculous numbers of people on them. And man, being a moderator gets to be a full-time job on that kind of thing. So I'm trying to multitask a little bit here.
Mm-hmm. No, it's okay. It's okay. No, I'm noticing you doing that, which is good because I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm not really paying attention to what's happening. I'm just paying attention to you only. So I'm not watching anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, to all the trolls out there, hey guys, why don't you just get the out of here?
Yeah. These guys here. This is actually, if we get another one here, getting trolled by caller. What the hell, John? Develop a sense of humor. Okay, at least be witty about this. Like, this is the reason we use terms like NPC and stuff like that. You guys can't meme. Seriously, get a sense of humor. Okay, like, we don't mind getting burnt. Curts don't fit in your bum sideways. Yeah, see what I mean, Mike? It's always about your butt, right? You talked about Grindr a minute ago. Like, this is the fourth account this guy has set up in like 20 minutes. Dude, you're boring.
It takes me like 3 hours to set up an account because I can't even read.
It's amazing. Yeah, like, you're boring. You absolutely are not funny. Like, develop some humor, man.
Do you think anybody cares about those? Do you think anybody cares about these people?
Well,
no, just say no. That's okay.
I care. These people are, man, like, that's sad. Like, I'm on here, okay, and I spend a lot of time, and God, I'm pulling stuff I've thought about for years out of here. I appreciate your kind attention, everyone. But it's man, come on, learn something. At least learn to be funny. There are trolls that get in here, and it's got like, okay, man, you got me there. That was really good. I haven't seen one on your streams yet. Haven't seen it. These guys are not funny. It's like, carrot fits in your butt. Like, my God.
Woo! Like, okay, we got. Hold on, we got. Where did I see that? Oh man, I lost it. I'm getting so many messages on Skype. Mark Rogers watching me from Orange County, California. We got Red Love watching me from the Philippines. We got Robert Skat, Skattz, watching me from Atlanta. Wow, it's late in the morning there. Early in the morning. Atlanta. Wow, okay, so I'm seeing all kinds. There's all these messages. There's no way. There's got to be more than 100 people watching this thing. Not with the amount of people that are messaging me.
Yeah.
So I got 144 unread messages to go through in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you agree. We appreciate it. We appreciate people checking in because, we're all here to learn and we're all here. We're looking for a tribe, guys. We're looking for a community. We're looking for people to interact with. We don't all have to agree on the same thing. And certainly, as you've seen on the comment stream, I mean, I'm pretty sure me and Raven or me and Leaf or all of us could gather around a table at the pub and have a hell of a good time. And there would be lots of things that we wouldn't agree on, right? Or it would be on a curve, right? It would be on a bell curve kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But you've got it's a heart thing, it's a soul thing, it's hard to articulate.
Okay, I got a question.
It's not right. And go ahead.
I got an important question in the chat from OK Player One, and I'm going to answer this. Explain why China wants to buy precious metals to devalue the U.S. dollars. Well, China's secretly been selling a lot of U.S. treasuries in the last 3 years. They're using it in rebuying physical gold. They're buying gold, and they're filling their vaults. China wants to deleverage some of its debt, and they want to basically have the Americans pay for it. Now, what's going to happen is China's sitting on 20,000 tons of gold right now. I think they've semi-announced it, and now they want to have a crypto-backed gold currency. And right now, we just read the article that in Australia they're doing it too, right? Gold-backed cryptocurrency. China is, I think, a few steps ahead of the game because they're embracing the 5G. They're embracing the quantum computing. They're embracing the whole social credit thing. And people are going with it like zombies, right? And the dangers of some of this stuff is so dangerous.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a lot of choice in the matter, obviously. The thing is there must be a lot of low-level dissent in China or a lot of non-cooperation because We've had this idea, and it was the same problem with the Russians, right? When it was the Soviet Union, right? Well, they were the Soviets, right? When we were bombing Dresden and we were landing on Normandy at D-Day, or taking Vimy Ridge in 1917, they were the Hun, they were the Boche, they were the Nazis, right? But the fact is, no, they were just German citizens that got caught up in a governmental system,
Exactly.
and a major
Lies.
and a major diplomatic blunder. And
Lies.
it's the same with the Chinese.
Lies. It was all lies.
Yeah.
It was all lies. It was all built off lies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, people just wanted to go about their lives, and and their governments screwed up, and they got them involved in this, in these massive conflicts. And once they get going, you've got no choice. You got to go all the way, and that means you got to lie if you need to lie. You've got to take what you need to take. You need to direct your forces to seize what you're going to need in order to keep winning and expanding. Once the thing gets going, that machine has no brakes. It's going to go until one side or the other finally collapses. And that's the scary thing about war. It's also the scary thing about financial collapses. What China's doing is financial warfare. Now, their weapons aren't as big as the United States yet. I mean, they might have 20,000 tons of gold. They might. But that would have to be subject to independent verification, because that's almost 3 times what the Americans say they have. So if the Chinese were going to back their currency with gold, they're going to have to pass some major smell tests for people to accept that. Now, people in China have to take what they're given, because obviously Beijing has the guns, so they make the rules, right? Mm-hmm. But the Chinese China is 100 different nationalities. They don't all get along. The Han Chinese are the largest single group. They're probably fairly monolithic, but they still are human beings, and they want to have decent lives. They don't want to toil for their lives away to produce goods and services for people that they'll never meet and that they know don't give a crap about them. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with socialism. That's the problem with even the socialism light that we have here. I don't run a business so I can pay taxes for a bunch of purple-haired bureaucrats that don't like me, and I wouldn't like them either. Right? I don't want those people making decisions concerning my life. Unfortunately, I can't really overthrow the government. So I kind of got to work with the system that I have. And it's still usually better to try that. The people push back against the government. The government always tries to impose its will, but people push back. Either they do it electorally or they do it economically. There are 1,000 different ways that people can respond to government pressure. And governments are always trying to put their finger on the pulse. The idea that they're going to control the actions of every single person is a pipe dream. It's not possible. You would literally have to read people's thoughts. Look at the surveillance state that the Soviet Union had to set up just to try to maintain control over that country.
Oh, they had lists of extermination to exterminate people. They had lists and lists and lists that just went down from... that just did the print up new lists every day of people they need to take away in the night and people they need to extinguish because they maybe heard a rumor of somebody said something.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And but they still had to do it kind of on the QT. They might have come around in the middle of the night and taken your neighbors away, but if you didn't know your neighbors, you might not have noticed. Right? I mean, it was still in a way kind of an atomized society. People were absorbed into this machine. Right, this depersonalizing machine that was deliberately trying to break up families and family unity and even national sentiment and trying to create this new Soviet man, right? And they're trying the same thing here. They want you to be a consumerist corporate drone. I've said before, they want you to live in a pod and eat bugs and consume products that, and wait eagerly for the next product to come out and spend your life doing that. Right, they remove all meaning from life that way, and that's not a good sell in the end.
So I got over 144 unread messages now on Skype, just coming in the last 20 minutes. We're talking to each other. We got
there you go.
Yeah, we got a Marcos, in Athens that's watching us. Man, we got Jennifer.
Yeah.
In Berlin, we got Jam. I don't even know. So,
there you go. And on your channel here, Mike, the highest. Oh, someone calling?
Yeah, no, that was Real German Instincts. But I'm gonna end the show. I'm tired, man.
Sure, sure. I just want to point something out real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
The
Go
the
ahead.
highest number of people that I see on my screen tonight watching the show was 129, and you have 144 messages, and that's probably just the ones you haven't read yet.
That's in the last 20 minutes. Like my total new
That's in
messages
the
for
last 20
today.
minutes.
It says chats.
Yeah.
Right now, it says chats 266.
There you go. There
Like
you
from
go.
today, from
You
right
had-
now. Like in
Yeah,
the last
damn near-
40 minutes we've been talking about this.
Sure. Yeah. So damn near twice as many people checking in here than YouTube says we're watching your stream the whole time. So there you go. Your message is getting out a lot further than they just don't want you to believe that.
Yeah, when I get people from what was that place, Tahiti, messaging me, it's like, what?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's on the other side of the date line, isn't it? Like it's tomorrow there already, or yesterday. I
Well,
forget.
Australia's tomorrow too. It's already Sunday afternoon in Australia.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so a lot of people watching in Australia right now. But
No, that's great. Well, I'm gonna get off here, buddy. I guess you're ready to shut it down. It looks like we're just coming up to midnight. So
I'm falling asleep. Yeah, I'm gonna go up and check on the
Yeah.
wife, make sure she's snoring, and I'm gonna crash
You bet.
myself. Tomorrow's my day off. I'm just gonna take it easy, man.
just chill. Yeah, I got a stepdaughter in town from Williams Lake, so I'm gonna go have lunch with her tomorrow in Kamloops, and then Remembrance Day we're having a big dinner out at my parents' place. So yeah, I've got a full dance card for the weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Anyways, you have a good night, Supreme Canada. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, even though with the disruptions we had. It's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. It makes us stronger. We just harness off their dumbness. We become rich off them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? It's time to feed off that energy because
is.
these
Feed
people
off
are
the Nash-
these people are pathetic.
Yeah. It's nice
You know,
though.
like we're
You know,
yeah.
then I don't feel
You're
so
getting-
bad about myself not being so educated, or you know what I'm saying? I don't feel so bad about myself knowing that there's so
That's
many
right.
people out there that just have no idea what is what, but they think they know what is what. They just strut.
Yeah, well, it's just the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? They think they're that smart, and it's like, wow, what can you do but shake your head and feel a little bit sorry for them, and hope that they learn, hope they have their come to Jesus moment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a terrible way to live. What a terrible way to live.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, Supreme, God bless you. We'll talk soon, okay?
God bless, Mike. God bless everyone. Stay safe, please, and we'll talk again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Guys, that is Supreme Cannon. Maybe I'm going to get him to do a couple of, maybe read one or two articles a week. I hope you guys, maybe I'll talk to Supreme Cannon. What I'll do is I'll have a talk with him, ask him if he wants to record a couple of videos on his end, put it in a Dropbox. I'll upload it to Mike Martin's channel for you guys. If he wants to do maybe one or two articles a week of some key, kind of doing like a freelance, just helping out the channel. I think that'll be nice. Maybe having one person in Australia to kind of watch the housing there and kind of watch what's happening with the 5G. If somebody in Australia wants to do, like, if they don't want a channel and work on it and do all that crap, so maybe they want to just do a story for the channel. I would really appreciate that very much if somebody wants to do that for me in Australia and New Zealand and the UK and the States. So if someone's in the States wants to, maybe like someone in Arizona, for example. For some reason I got like 40 people watching me in Arizona for some reason. But if they want to make a video saying, "Hi guys, it's me, Kevin here for the Mike Martin's channel," they don't want to make a whole channel, right? They don't want to make a whole entire channel just to make 3 videos, right? So let me know if you guys want to be part of the channel by contributing a video. And you don't have to worry about, being algorithm and being watched or whatever. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Supreme Kansas, I'd be into doing that. Sure. Get your laptop set up, get your thing set up. You don't have to show the article like I show on my side. You could just be kind of pinpointing, kind of analyzing a bit of an article and kind of talking about where this might head. Keep it around 10 minutes and just, Okay, guys, have yourselves a good night. It's midnight here. It is Sunday morning right now here. and it's time for me to get some rest. You guys get some rest. I love you guys. Thanks so much for being part of this. And remember, guys, the secret to beating fear is love. Thanks for watching.